Going. There we go. Hello, everybody.
Dude,
This is the BearThoughts podcast. We do this every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Should be the time. Sorry, you about to say something?
no, you're good. I was
Oh,
just shaking my head.
okay. Do. And we usually do this here at the BearThoughts channel. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe button. It would help us get so closer to the 100. We're like 9 away. I would appreciate if y'all really would help us hit that. That'd be great. Make my year. And of course, make our life even better just by being here on, live in the chat, talking to us and, asking us questions and getting our opinion. Thank you. Alrighty then. And of course, as always, you have the illustrious Corvo Ninja and the channel. Southie, I don't know where she's probably somewhere around, but I'm sure she's probably to the left or right of him. They are usually near each other. My wife is here, but she is currently sleeping because
I'm just slightly more naked, Corvo, and I don't like it.
I have to say, it was very weird when I first saw this too, chat. So if you're looking at this going, what the hell happened? He got
I promise
younger.
it's coming back. I promise. Look,
Yeah.
I'm already trying to get it back. Look,
He's younger. Don't believe him. He found the magic wishing well and got younger and made a wish. Goodness gracious.
If I looked like I did when I was younger, there'd be a lot less flab.
Yeah, I see pictures of you.
The hair would be a little bit shorter, and there'd be a whole lot more muscle, and I'd be a hell of a lot meaner.
Mean man when you were younger. That's definitely saying. Of course, I was much more laid back.
To you though, dude, I'm amazed. I'm steadily amazed at the amount of people that go, we just can't picture you being like that. I'm like, then you need to squint harder, because I promise you don't know.
Okay, so just real quick side note here. No bootable drive. Strike F1 to retry boots. F2 to set up.
Okay, then run back through it, but this time blow all the partitions out and format it before you start it.
Okay, all of it. All right, we'll do that when the podcast is done. All right. So, I have not been a busy bee this week, but I have been reading a lot lately. And I know for those who know me, reading me, yes, I have been reading a lot, and I've actually been reading something I normally have never read before. I'm sure you know what Korea is, right? And I'm sure you know that Japan is not the only place that makes anime, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's called manhwa, or not manga, but manhwa. I believe that's pronunciation. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And I've been reading one of the most in Korea called Solo. I'm sure you probably never heard of this before. It's another, but it's not a isekai for once. It is a premise of another world attacking our universe, and because of that, people are awakening into kind of like they're not really stronger, but their attributes are lifted up and then enhanced. And this guy goes and of course they introduce him. He's the weakest of the weak. He's an E rank. He almost dies every time he goes to fight these people, but he's fighting because he's trying to save his mother. He's trying to get money he can to save his mother, and every time he tries to do this, he almost dies. Almost like every single time, and they call him the weakest hunter around. And this one dungeon, they went in, and while he was not able to fight, it was not a fight scenario. It was a scenario where they had to do these rules in order to win the scenario, and everybody else was not reading the rules and dying. And he was like, "Yo, we gotta do these steps in order not to die." Well, at the very end, he gets sacrificed. He gets killed, but he doesn't die. He comes back as a player. And that's why I was like, not isekai, but definitely reminds me of one after that word, player. So now he's becoming the strongest one, and I'm so glad that that the story, the writing of the story is so in depth and so unique to its own thing. It doesn't feel like the same run of the mill isekai anime thing that's been going around lately, and it's kind of refreshing. It's all in color too, so it's not just black and white. And I'm enjoying it so much, and it's like I don't know. You probably never read it before, but I'm definitely suggest anybody out there who's interested, go check it out. Is there any
Okay.
books that you feel that that surprise you that comes from, let's say, that were like, okay, manga's not just primarily just in Japan though, 'cause that's what I'm just trying to think here. Like it's coming from Korea, so it's so refreshing to see another culture's perspective on a thing that I enjoy
Yeah.
so
Well,
much.
right. I mean, I'm one of those people. I read mangas, but I don't read them as much as I do traditional fantasy books or
Mm,
sci-fi books. You know this. I
yeah,
mean, I've showed you some of my collection.
which are huge.
I don't know, a huge collection. Where me
No, the
me
books.
collect me collect a lot of stuff. No. Um. Anyway, but I tell you, there is a lot of stuff out there, man, that has started coming out. Like I was having a discussion with somebody the other day, and we were talking about even in movies. Okay, we'll
Mm,
use this as a premise. Even in movies, how things are starting to change. Because, for instance, a slasher film,
mm-hmm,
it's always been you have the one person that can't die, don't matter how much just slasher tries to kill them. And then you have all the stupid people that can't run properly that always die.
mm-hmm.
And then you have the OP slasher that seems to never die unless it's that one protagonist that magically finds the right spot, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking how things are starting to change because you're starting to see more and more where they have the people that should be the victims part of the way through the movie turn into the people that are like kicking this guy's ass, you
Mm,
know? And then one of the guys was like, wouldn't it be so refreshing to have a movie that started out where, the slasher breaks in the house, kills this one person, right?
yeah.
Tries to kill another one, but fucks up because that's not the one,
Mm-hmm,
That is just not the one. And then he ends up running for his life the entire fucking movie from the guy he fucked up with.
yeah.
That would be refreshing. I was like, no, that's not refreshing. That's reality in my world. Because the bitch breaks into my house, he better get me on the first go. And because if he don't, he just became the victim in that scenario. I
What?
was like,
I'm,
and they're doing it in books, they're doing it in mangas, they're starting to do it in animes, it's flowing into cartoons, it's flowing
mm,
into movies. I like it because it's like more realistic to me.
yeah.
Do I get that there's people out there that in a scenario where someone breaks into their house, they are going to freak out and run away. I get that
Mm,
there's people like that. But the more people I interact with, the more I find that there's seems to be more people that if you broke into their house and did not get the job done on the first attempt, you just became the next victim.
yeah.
They gonna kill your ass.
It's kind of
And
like, good.
to me, bringing that step of reality into it is kind of a nice change of pace.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the Japanese horror films, or it could be not. Where I saw this one scene the other day. I wasn't watching a movie, but I saw this scene where one woman, she was running away from a crawling Asian ghost girl, and she was crawling toward her. So she was running away from her, and she turned around and was about to go into a pantry or something like that, right? And for some reason, their eyes were always locked. So the moment she opened the pantry to go inside of it or a door, the ghost chick was already right there coming toward her, trying to get to her, right? So he's like,
Right.
door, ghost girl's here, close door, run away this way, run away, go door. It's like no matter what she could do, the ghost girl was chasing after her, and even if she turned away from her, the ghost girl was right there in front of her, waiting for her to come into her embrace to kill her, right? It was something like that. And that's it's not really it's horror, but if they could take horror like American horror and twist it and make it their own thing, but yet we still can enjoy it because a lot of people do enjoy the Ring movie, and that movie was from other cultures, and
Yep.
it became a very popularized horror movie in the states. I think that's a pretty horror movie, right? I'm not mistaken. Is it a horror movie?
Yes. No.
Okay.
I'm screaming. Out. 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 Out.
Um,
Thank you.
so I was just like, that sense of view, but then you brought up that idea of you somebody running away. It's kind of like somebody watching that one movie. I don't know if you've seen it before, where the kids go into this one guy's house and he's supposed to be blind, um, and they thought he was a frail old man, and they went into the house, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm not frail or stupid. I'm actually a fucking maniac killer that can hear you if you me even make this whisper of a sound."
Yeah, it's The Quiet Place or some shit like that.
Yeah. And I'm like, can you imagine if another Marine went into the house and he fucked up and killed his wife or something like that? He went, "Yeah, no, we're not having this," and he flips it on the old man. It's just
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you're scary. You just fucked up. I was playing around with you, mess around, but now you just killed my wife or my girlfriend or something like that. Yeah, it's on, bitch. That'd be the flip of it. Um, but I'm just thinking, like, your horror thing. Can you imagine watching a horror from Korea and it actually being like actually really good, and you don't really know about it at all until someone introduces you to it, and then you check it
Right.
out, and it's fucking great.
Yeah.
That
I can
is
see that.
like, to me, that's how the world is changing so much, even for the better, because we can start to enjoy each other's entertainment while it's not in the usual entertainment that you're used to. It's starting to become entertainment that everybody can enjoy, but not many people are either A, willing to give it a shot, or B, are aware of it because they're so fixated on their own nations and what your own nation can provide for you, I guess you would say.
Absolutely. I understand that completely.
A-
Like, what was it? I can't. I'm trying to remember what I was. I was watching something the other day, and I can't remember what I. Shit. I wish I could remember it. But I remember thinking at one point during the show, like, this dude, this is legit what I would do in this situation.
mm-hmm.
Like, there wasn't. It wasn't a moment that it was like, oh, I don't know why the fuck he would do that. It was like a moment like, yeah, that's exactly what the fuck I would do. Do that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And it's getting out there. So that being said, I have some things to show.
Okay, show and tell.
Show and tell. You got to see this earlier, but chat, I got some new telephone. I got the new telephone.
Which with the is that what Genshin Impact character is that in front of it? I know I recognize the cow. I think is that
Hang on.
Hu Tao?
Yes, hang on. Out. No. All right.
Oh yeah, that's very nicely drawn.
And then my wallpaper.
Demon Slayer, right?
No.
No, why does it look like the girl from Demon Slayer? Who is that? Oh, that's
It's
Raiden.
okay.
Oh, let's say it's like wait. I recognize something on that picture.
Hey, I bet you did. And it wasn't her eyes.
No, it wasn't her eyes.
Dude, this phone is freaking amazingly fast.
Oh, okay.
Amazing.
Can you notice the crease in it when it's turned on?
When I'm looking at it like this, no.
Okay, because
You can barely feel it when you
Mhm.
run your finger across it, but it does not hinder anything you're doing.
Yeah, because a lot of people was like always worried about if they bought a phone like that with the foldable screens that they would see the crease in it because old technology.
You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it a little bit. There's nothing
Mm.
you can do about that.
But
But
I'm
honestly, when you're holding it flat in front of you, it doesn't take any quality of any images away. It doesn't, when you're rubbing your finger over it, it doesn't affect what you're doing. And hey, when it folds up, that bitch drops in your pocket. Oh, I forgot this part. Hang on. See
that's
that?
cool.
When you have it out like this
Mhm.
and it's closed, you can double tap, and now I can swipe and get my notifications and shit without even
Okay,
I'm turning the
with that
phone.
opening all the way open. So I'm sure if you don't
Yep,
fixate it on the line, you probably wouldn't even
right.
notice it like at all.
You're right.
Um,
And see, I have the case I bought has a cover even for my camera lens and shit.
that's slick. Okay.
So
How much did that
I
cost
like
you?
it. This one was $400.
Oh, that's about right price for the normal phones nowadays.
I got it off of Amazon unlocked, and then yeah, I know I got some new kickies,
Oh,
some
there
new
they
kicks.
are. Okay, so for those who do not know, there's a reason why he has his shoes. They're made from Razor, I guess you would call them a primarily computer accessory maker.
Right. What they do is occasionally they do collabs with people, like when they did my watch.
Mm.
You know, the nice thing about these shoes is the purchase of those shoes saved 20 trees in Amazon.
Did they beat that, or did they reach that goal? I fairly
Oh
remember it.
yeah. They blew that goal out the damn water, and they've got a new one, and they're hauling ass towards it too. I mean,
Yeah, I
dude,
feel like
I don't know what's going on, but I would say that Razor is saving trees right and fucking left right now. And hey, this is what's really going to blow your mind. There's not a single thing on that shoe that isn't made from recycled material.
oh, that's great. My wife would love those then.
All recycled material, natural rubber that was collected from a tree.
Mm.
You know, for the soles and shit. All the fabric, the laces, even the cushion on the inside is made from cork.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, all that shit is it's all recycled, and they're very nice.
I,
Very nice.
so I guess you wore them around a little bit and got the feel for them.
A little bit, but they're mainly going to be my park shoes, you know, when we do that whole vacation thing that's coming.
Okay, okay. Well,
You know, the vacation thing that I'm going to use to make my boss cry, because he's a huge Star Wars fan, but has never owned anything like what I'm fixing to go and buy.
I thought you'd make him cry in other ways for not being there at your job.
Oh, yeah. He's going to cry from that anyway, but it's going to be worse when I come back and sit 2 droids and a lightsaber in my cube for people to look at
Yeah, for like
for a little
one
while.
day, but like, yeah, that's it. That's one day you got it, and then
Damn right. And then it comes right back to the house.
and I'm hoping
You
you
know,
have.
that lightsaber and the boys' lightsabers are going to go back here. You guys will be able to see it. And I would say I'm going to put the droids back there, but I have a feeling that they're not going to play well on the shelf because they're going to want to walk and talk and shit like that. And
Mm,
um, because the kicker with these droids is when you buy one and you leave the park, you basically have a remote control robot.
yeah,
But when you buy two and leave the park and turn the controllers off and just set the two of them in proximity, they start talking, walking, and communicating with each other, and you don't have to do shit.
they don't just go. Okay,
And
he is now
chat,
leaving the
chat,
room. He's entering the room. He's now looking at what is that?
chat. I will. The first podcast after that vacation, I will aim a camera at the floor and let you see the little droids play together.
Mm.
Okay.
Which, by the way,
Um,
for those who do not know, when he's on vacation, no podcasts. Just everybody was aware of it, just in case there's people looking forward to him being at the park this time, like he normally is, and being on a podcast. I'm telling him to rest and have fun. No podcasts.
yeah, but we'll pick up right after on the following week. You'll get to see the goodies that I'm getting. Um, I did not know. I was informed today that this is the 50th anniversary for the park. So there is a shitload of 50th anniversary shit at this park now.
Limited edition items that they're gonna be
Limited edition Star Wars medallions, coin presses, necklaces,
Yep.
all that shit. So I know the major things that we're buying. I cannot tell you everything because it's gonna be a reveal from hell.
It's
That's
gonna
all
be
I
a
can tell you.
big show and tell. I would be thinking. I'm hoping you have already looked up some really good prints for those lightsabers. You know they're coming. I've been looking up
Oh
like
yeah.
ways of hanging them up. Honestly, I'm thinking if you there's actually one spot toward the top of your collection that you could easily see it from. The
Over
kids
here.
could probably either go beside the
So
sword, or
what
it?
I was thinking about doing is, you see each corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take two of them and do like this, corner to corner,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna take one and go straight up the middle. So when you look in the back, you're gonna have a lightsaber version of the Rebel
Oh,
Alliance.
I forgot. Yeah, that is a symbol, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a phoenix. It's a phoenix. So if I
Mm.
cross the sabers, you're gonna have your wings going up.
And you
And you
tell.
put the one in the middle. Now you got your neck.
Mm.
So yeah, it'll be back there. I've looked at prints for lightsaber holders and shit, but honestly, what I think I'm going to do, because I have a feeling that no two lightsaber hilts are going to be the same when we come back, I'm
Mm.
going to wait and just take the caliper, do a few measurements, and make my own.
Speaking of 3D prints, and for those who have never seen before, and I brought this up, I just showed Corvo today this little model right here. And this is the kind of stuff that with 3D prints that you can print. Now, I showed you this artist this past week, and Hu Tao was the first one I showed you. Do you? And I'm just bringing this up. Do you think 3D modeling is getting better?
Oh hell yeah!
Like, for anybody wondering, like this right here, I have this file to print this now. I can print this lovely lady right here. She's name is Ning Guang. She's from Genshin Impact, and this model is ornate. It's everything that I love in a figurine and then some. It not just of a character. It's not just of pretty scenery. It's a pretty scenery with some movement going into it, and the character is so well designed that it's borderline on exquisite to me. I don't know if it's probably too depth or too big of a word, really, but I like that people are getting, and it's getting easier and easier to get a hold of these models nowadays. Like you know,
Yes.
it's like when we were probably when you first started getting figurines, it was hard to getting models that were really good without paying an arm and a leg like you did for your character from Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah.
And like how
Now,
much?
to be fair, this person that designed this model probably did sell this a model at least once or twice at that high print benchmark before they dropped it to what it is now.
Well, that's the thing. Like they had a Patreon. It's $30 a month, right? And
Right.
each month, this person does a exclusive monthly release of one main character. Right now, their thing. If I were to do it, they have the assassin from um, Family X Spy, whatever it's called, the anime.
Right.
He has the assassin and one Chibli character. I forget what the Chibli character is for that month. $30 for figurines or models like that. I think it's a steal. Like really, when we were looking at the other one, I'm trying to bring that other one up so people can see that one, but I'm having a hard time finding the folder so I can bring it over. When we first saw it,
Oh,
we thought this thing would cost
I
us.
got you. I
We
got you. Hang on.
we thought it would cost us maybe what $200 easily.
Easily.
Because
Easily.
yours was
And that was Yaimiko, by the way, not Hutao.
yeah. For some reason, I thought Yaimiko. Your figurine when you did it was around close to $200 when you had a figure not a figure but when you had your figurine done. Let's see, replace, sure, there we go. Apparently I
Here
already
you
have.
go.
Okay, thank you. But when you got it done, I'm sorry the camera's frozen, chat. It's just me moving stuff to the OBS. Okay, so when you got the figurine you done, yours was around $200, I say, to get it custom made. And it wasn't in a special pose. It was just in her generic self and kind of staying there.
Yes,
And it,
yes and no. That pose was actually a scene from the game.
oh yeah, okay.
Okay,
Um,
so
so
it looks line work and all the earrings and shit.
Yeah, and that cost you around $200 to get it, almost too much $200 just for that. But for this kind of work from these two figurines, um, and when we first saw this one from for young dang it,
Yeah, Miko.
Yaimiko, it took me like hours to stare at this thing and see all the details that were going into this thing. And we thought this was easily over $200. Now, looking back on your figurine and looking at this guy's work, I don't see how like this is not a profitable thing nowadays. Like if you would sell this for $200, hell, I bet if Genshin Impact were to see this model, they would probably buy the rights for this thing just so they could make it and print it and sell it. And I'm looking at a $400 figurine right here, easily. Um, and they're resellable. And I had a gentleman this past week. He apparently he was in my channel. What he does is he buys anime stuff and anime figurines, and then like if they're on, he's pretty much a flipper. He buys things and flips them on eBay and sells them for more the price. And he told me if I were to sell 3D models on eBay, he would buy them either so he can keep them or turn around and sell them at a higher price because of how good these models and how good 3D models are coming nowadays coming to look like.
Yep.
Now, I do wish, and I don't think this is ever going to happen, but I'm sure you have a collection of figurines. Some of them are a little bit more pliable, even at the fingers, right? And even if I do not dry or UV light the 3D prints that much, the fingers are always the most delicate would be the
Yeah,
word. I
they're
wish,
always going to be.
yeah, I kind of wish they would make one resin that is a little bit more rubberized. So
They make flexible resin. I looked it up the other day. Me and you need to talk about it because I think you know how you did your clear resin video.
yeah,
I think you could get some hits off of a flex resin video.
which by the way, for those that wondering like where did that video, the entire thing was corrupt. I mean, I don't know what the hell happened. I was recording it. I got all the way to the very end. I mean, I did every single one. I found out the best one. I put my finance at Corvo. And I go back and watch the videos. There was like 5 of them, and all of them were corrupt. I couldn't hear a thing I said. But that's because I was using a mic that has a distant sound wave, and I was halfway across the room instead of a lavalier mic or a mic that it can actually move with you. I learned my lesson. If I had this,
Yeah.
it wouldn't been a problem, but I didn't know no better. So
Yeah,
then
and everybody, just to give you a heads up, you need to stay tuned. Probably right after the first year, there's going to be several videos come out from me specifically on repairing a couple of printers and set up and test runs of them after being repaired and stuff like that, because I've actually sat down and found all the different parts I need to repair specific functions, and I am going to be trying to do videos on those as I go. And hopefully next year, that big Chunga Wonga printer that I sent to Grumpy will be here, and we'll start printing full masks in resin.
yeah, that printer is so I still have it in my wish list. I am
What you gonna do when I print me out a Sub Zero or a Scorpion out of that?
goodness gracious, that's gonna be high details. Like I just if I was a movie industry, or if I was a tech media or a TV show industry or anything in entertainment, or even if I still think resin printers or printers would work at a factory like yours. I do. I think like, hey, we want to test and see this theory of this part can work out. How can we do that? Make the 3D model, print it out, and put it on one of the devices and see if it can withstand or it can do what we.
I've already proved that there is a place for testing at my job with it, because when we were building a programmable logic controller.
Mm-hmm.
It needed a case, but the case couldn't be the standard case to fit where we needed it to fit. So I took measurements and printed out a case that would house all the components and fit in the location.
Mm.
They used it as the test fit case. And once they were 100%, yes, this will work, we sent my model to a company and they manufactured it out of aluminum for them
Yeah.
based off of my model. And guess what? Even today, that shit is still being manufactured and put into those cabinets.
And I think that's just so beneficially and honestly just so smart. It's cost effective rather than
I gave them a freebie. Now the next time it's going to cost them.
Yeah, because every time that the manufacturer something out of metal, that is manufacturing time and then material and then
And
shipping.
And sometimes you need metal, but the problem is in the process of making that first one, you're going to waste a lot of material because you got to figure out how it works. Whereas I can go and take my printer and print one out of PLA.
Mm-hmm.
You don't waste that much material. You're not wasting as much money. You can get it figured out and right the first time and send it off. And when they send it back, you're not losing money on constantly sending shit back and forth until you get it right.
Yeah, and you had the model, so like the actual 3D CAD of it. They should be able to pull that 3D CAD off,
Absolutely.
slice it, and then start cutting.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I found out today that they didn't even use the plastic, the actual physical component. They only used my CAD model that I made because guess what they did? They 3D printed it out of aluminum. They literally took my STL and just loaded it into their 3D printer that uses aluminum, went print,
and walked away.
Like, sons of bitches. You know how long
Can I borrow that?
You know how long it took me to make that fucking model, and you're just gonna go click print. Fuck you.
Hey, it's a smart idea, and that could be done for tool making.
I will tell you this: it has been tossed around a few times about buying an aluminum 3D printer out there where I'm at, and they were like, you know what keeps getting it closer and closer to being purchased? We know somebody that can run 3D printers. We know somebody that can run 3D printers. We know somebody that can do this.
You should know two people.
It gets a little closer, it gets a little closer, it gets a little closer. I'm like, bro, listen. When y'all get it approved and you have the equipment down there, come see me about some money, and I might operate that machine for you. I might could. Now stop being IT and I'll start being CAD-T.
And then of course when you're going to Orlando or going to Hollywood, whatever the park's called,
Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, you're gonna be getting you some lightsabers. I've been like, that was me. I'm going, you get that, you best believe there'll be 2 or 3 more lightsabers in the background because I would print me a handle of a lightsaber.
Listen, bro.
At my job, I'll pay for it.
If I had a 3D scanner, I'd get thrown out of the park. What are you doing? I'm taking pictures, bitch. Why are you waving it like that? It's a 3-dimensional picture. I'm not lying.
No. Technicality, but well, the phones are getting better and better with the camera system on it. I wouldn't be surprised if one day
I can't wait until somebody writes an app that goes on your phone that will allow your camera to be your 3D scanner.
Yeah, because they have some. They're just not good. People I've looked them up, and everybody's like, "Yeah, these are trash." I'm like, I wonder if they're just actually trash, or they just don't have a really, really good camera phone.
Right, because I can't imagine the camera on this thing not being good enough. I mean,
well, there's some phones out there like the Pixel cameras are pretty much designed around the camera on the phone.
See, now you got me curious. Hold on.
There's apps out there. I promise you. I ain't lying. I got my new modem in, so I'm excited to plug this baby in and see how good it does. This thing does up to, I want to say 200 or 2,500 megabytes. So this should be easy to able to handle my speeds and then some. So I'm looking forward to get this thing plugged up. Though I got to get the thing actually behind the plastic has another Ethernet port, but I would imagine they would.
Wait a minute now.
I told you. I ain't crazy. When I look up something, I look it up. And I keep on looking up because
Yeah, but this app is sponsored by Creality.
it could be good. It could be good. Or it could be trash. Only thing you could do is test it out, really. And you have a steady hand. Or do you not? I don't know. It's just one of those things you have to probably toy with to see how it really works. If you need to be moving constantly, or if you need to be like holding it still as the object moves, because sometimes the jittering of your hand can mess up the camera's focus. For those that don't know, Creality is the model make or the device maker of our 3D printers that we both own. We both own a Creality resin printer and a Creality 3D spool printer or PLA printer. And
Let's find out.
so we trust the company to be knowledgeable when it comes to 3D. There, Elgu, VoxLab, let's see, what was the one that you had before your Creality?
Any cubic.
And a cubic, yeah. So there's quite a few of them out there with affordable prices. So it's and 3D printers are getting cheaper too. I know we talked about this 3D printer on my channel quite a lot. That's because we're both advocate of it, and we both believe that it is a technology that it's going to persistently get better and cheaper for the masses. And I think if you are a game designer and you have no work right now, if you know how to make 3D models in any fashion, start working on these kind of things, please. We need more people that do this kind of work without costing an arm and a leg.
Let's see what we got in here. Laser engraver, 3D print mod, testing, creative, resin,
Like the word resin.
collections, photo scan. Live on stream, we're gonna test.
Well, for those who are watching the VOD, they'll see this. So what he's trying to do right now is the point of a 3D scanner usually is it will normally pinpoint objects and their depth, and it'll do section by section in a bunch of pinpoints over and over and over and over and over again, right? And when you start moving the phone or the camera around the object, it starts to recognize fill of depth and width and height, and starts to form like almost a clay model of it as you move around it. So when you move around, the model inside the app or user program will start to move as well, and we'll notice you're rotating around it. So it is, you might say, a bunch of lasers all pointing at different parts of the object, and then getting those 3D objects, and then start to make a model. And it can be very detailed the more and longer you do it, because then it'll start capturing that image over again. So let's say you go around a face, right? And you think, oh, that's good enough, one pass. No,
Okay,
go over it like
I'm
2,
not
3,
going
4
all the way
times.
around it.
Yeah. But the more you do it, the longer you do it, I'm sure the better it would be, because it doesn't have more points of accuracy and more points of depth and field, and be able to realize there was something there the last time you went over that object. Because like I said, that the middle of the camera, or the middle focal point of the camera, would be going back around, so you get that point again. So you might see the face 3 or 4 times, and it might pick up something different every single time. So it's getting more details, and hopefully it's smart enough to remember those details, so none of it's lost during the movement of it. So it can be very done. But then you got people that do this kind of work free-handed. So there's no there's no scanning this. This is all by their skills alone. Are these things possible to be able to be done?
Wow, this is actually okay. This is not bad, dude. Okay, we're gonna do this again, but I'm gonna do it because it got 2 different settings, right? So this is automatic, and it literally.
But say, I thought I heard the camera clicking.
You did.
Okay.
It's just kind of crazy.
So it's taking a bunch of pictures, I'm assuming. And then we'll start to pull from those pictures the model itself as you were turning it around. If you have one of those stations that would move for you, probably be even better because then you wouldn't have to like touch it or move it from its middle focus point. Or if you had a desk, you'd be was able to actually go around the desk and able to focus from that perspective. That probably would also help a lot. And okay, I see a can. Y'all don't see it, but I see a can turning. Are you scanning a can?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I thought you were scanning like maybe like a little figurine you had in your desk or something like that. But maybe I was also worried about if you're doing a can, the reflective surfaces of the can might be a little hard to pick up. But if it's an image, maybe you wouldn't have to worry about the reflectiveness of the can.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna fuck with that. That was kind of cool. So if you set it on automatic mode
Mm-hmm.
and you take your phone and you move it around the object, there's a dial that has pegs off of it.
Mm.
Every time you move your phone enough that the gyro reads that it's at the next peg, it takes a picture. Takes a picture, takes a picture, takes a picture, takes a picture. When it gets all the pictures taken, it literally renders a 3D object of what you just took the pictures of and lays them pictures over it like a skin.
Okay, yeah, it's going off the gyro of the phone, which is also pretty good because that phones most of them have gyros in it. Hell, if you have GPS, I wonder if you use a GPS. I wonder how big you can actually scan. I'm kind of curious. I wonder if I had the phone in my hand and I had told you stay still, Corvo, and I just walked around you. I wonder how good of accuracy would it be actually honestly be.
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna find out. I know that much. I'll probably will take one of these little figurines now, set it somewhere like on a peg, and just walk around that bitch just
Mm-hmm.
to see what it does. Because I'm gonna tell you now, if that shit actually works, oh boy.
Disney, you're in trouble. I mean, not Disney. Hollywood, watch out. Guy with a phone coming through. um, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. There, of course, I would also be like, hey, if you're, let's say you go to a place where they have like, the actual movie prop, right? You go there. There's a movie prop, and even when you take pictures, it's hard sometimes to get the details that you want to. Can you imagine just scanning over that movie prop and going, "Now I have a 3D model of it. I'm going home." And then go home and print out an exact copy of that movie prop, as long as not made out of fabric, of course. And then, bam, there you go. You have your own prop from the movie, and it's 1-to-1 because you just got to scan right over it.
Yep.
And if that prop is ever broken, you literally could go, "Hey, don't worry, I got you. I'll print the part for you for that prop. Done." That to me it just sounds a genius. And of course, you always have the file, so it's never really long, gone. Or if the prop ever burns in fire for some reason, right? You always
It
print
wouldn't be the first time that I printed a part that needed to be replaced.
Yeah, I got one too myself, but that's thanks to the cat. So yeah, I think this has so many usage and so many possibilities that you could be doing with a scanner now. And if it does work, well then all the better. What is it, love?
Pretty much.
Why? Why?
They don't have enough patients.
Oh,
So I have to check in by 11 if they still need.
yeah. She has PTO time. For those that know, PTO time is pretty much if anything were to ever happen to her or she needs some time off, she'll still get paid for it. So
Paid time off, PTO.
yeah, it's quite nice because she has a lot of it. And I do mean a lot of it. If we wanted to, we could probably take a whole month of vacation and not be really bad.
Quite a bit myself. I mean, that's what. How do you think I'm going down there from Saturday to Saturday?
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, can you actually call and get this somewhat set up? Okay, why? Oh, well, okay. Never mind. She has something else she needs to do. Okay, so what time we're looking at here? I don't want to. I can't see the time for some reason. Why can I not?
It's 6:47 my time, so that'd be 5:47 your time.
Okay, we still got time. Okay, good. Okay, so I was just thinking of something and I done forgot about it, but it was something.
Oh, so here we go. While you're thinking about that, we're gonna keep things moving. We're gonna discuss the NAS.
Oh, okay, yeah, go with that one.
Big
Okay.
Mama. So I got the NAS up and running. It has 14 terabyte red label NAS drives in it. For
4.
anybody that doesn't know, that equals 56 terabytes. Now, I did something called RAID 5, which means one of my disks is not being used for storage. It is literally there for the sole purpose of holding data so that if a drive fails, I can pop a drive out, replace that drive, and it will rebuild the data that was on the failed drive. So that took me down to a whopping 42 terabytes. Woo, boy, I lost so much. Not really. But I have been in the process of moving my massive media collection. And I think I have moved a total of, let's see, 42. We're down to 38. So that's what, 4 terabytes of data?
Mm-hmm.
And I still have like 3 left to go. 3.5.
It's like every time I want to transfer data from one hard drive to another one, it makes me so nervous. And maybe you can clear my worry about this. Because every time, like the old hard drives, right? The spinning ones, right? If you're transferring a lot of data, that's a lot of times where that disk is spinning and something like even the smell of jitter, or you're doing something on that hard drive that could just mess it or skip over that data. So when you transfer over to another hard drive, it can come corrupt. That's
Okay. So here's the thing. As I've told you before, and I will tell you again, you, sir, are overthinking shit.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah.
If
This
you,
happened to me before, though.
yes, it has. But here's the thing. That means you weren't using the proper shit.
I normally just use Windows, drag and drop.
Okay. So here's the thing. Like with my NAS, I am using Windows to transfer it from one drive to the other, just like you. The difference is how I'm going about doing it. I'm not just dragging and dropping, and I'm not cutting the data and pasting it.
Okay, so what you doing?
I am copying it.
Copying it. Okay.
You always do your copy first, because if the copy ends up corrupted, you still have the original to work from. So like all this data I'm moving, it still exists on the original drives. I'm just copying that data over. I'm going to run a verification on it. When it verifies data good, clean, neat, nice, good to go, then I will blow out every one of those damn drives.
Because
But not until then.
I'm thinking because you sent me over one, and this one, like we both found out, we could download Windows to it, right? So I don't know why I couldn't be a read from this one either. And now this one's being just as weird, but I don't know if it's actually a hard drive. I think it's something else, but we'll cross that bridge later. I literally could just take all the 3D models that I have and put them on here, and I mean external like memory of those 3D models. So if they ever get corrupted or I ever lose them or whatever, I have all them ready right here. Yeah, and then I can send all the files from here to your NAS or.
Say another little thing. You see that little square?
Yeah, the 3D, the not 3D, the
you don't
scanner.
get in it without my finger.
Yeah, which is your
Gotta
thumb.
have a finger. No,
it's not your thumb.
No.
Oh, it's like a key or something, or like a little.
I mean, it is a finger, but it is not my thumb.
Okay.
Okay. The other side of that is like with my NAS. You cannot get into my NAS without. Okay, let me see if I can clarify this. Okay, if you're a normal person and you're just trying to gain access, you're not some malicious person. You're not getting in unless I've set you up as a user and given you permissions, and I control what permissions you get. Okay. If you are a malicious person, and because I am who I am and I do what I do for a living, I'm a little different than your average user. You not only have to break into my modem, but you got to break my firewall. Then you got to break the firewall on the router. Then you got to break the firewall on the PC that's protecting the NAS. And then you got to break the encryption on the NAS. By the time you get that far, because every one of those things, those passwords are at least 16 to 32 characters long. You will be old, gray, and you won't be able to get a lift when your woman walks by anymore.
Or you're probably gonna notice, like, at some point, going, "Hey, someone's trying to do something, and they're past the second firewall." Like, boy, howdy, congratulations, you made 2 places. But I've done seen what you're doing, so bye, boot, and and make it start all over again. It just,
I have a nice little script for people that if they do make it to the point that I get concerned,
says
their device
congratulations.
congratulations, your device is no longer bootable. I have your address.
Yeah, it's some kind of like troll way of saying, I know you're here. Hi. It's kind of like saying,
No. I mean, it legitimately will give me their address.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. But I was saying like Facebook or Google, like, we see you. We see what you're doing. Good job. We now know everything about you. Congratulations.
You know how demoralizing it would be to be spent like a month hacking a system and then get a notification and it say, your device is no longer bootable. I have your address, and it flashes the address in front of your face to let you know I know where you are.
A picture of your home and then a picture of them going, man, no, this look interesting. Staring into a mirror.
Let me tell you what happened at work. So I've told you part of this story before, but I haven't given you all the details. So a guy that used to work for us, worked security, cybersecurity for us.
Yeah.
Was trying to make a point to an executive one time about how we needed more security.
Yes.
And they were just all about no, that costs too much money, we don't need it, blah 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 blah. So he goes out,
old people,
gets a laptop, non-company laptop, not on our domain, not on our network or anything, hops on his hotspot on his personal cell phone and goes to town. What basically happens is he hacks the computer for this individual and takes a picture of this bitch eating his ham and turkey sandwich at lunch at his desk. Okay, then he walks back inside and shows him this picture. And the guy's like, yeah, we might need to revisit that security stuff that you were talking about. He's like, no shit, you reckon? He's like, think about this. He said, I want you to think real hard about this. He said, this is not a threat, but this is to make my point. I did this to a company that makes multi-million dollars a year and has some decent security. Decent. Imagine what I could do to your home network. He said, I could sit there and literally any camera, any device in your house, your phone, your laptop, your desktop, your security cameras.
Yeah.
I could follow you around live while you walk around your house.
Yeah.
I can know when you play with your pecker because your wife's not home.
Yeah. Like it's like, people always have that story of, like, the Asian people that, hack into people's web cameras and watch you because you don't have something over it. That's why a lot of web cameras nowadays come with these, like, it comes with the little covers on top of them. So if they do hack them, they can't see nothing. But you don't realize, like, they still have access to your computer, right? They still can, like, pull up your screen on your computer because OBS does it all the time. I can pull up my screen and what I see on my screen in a jiffy, not a problem. So
reminds me when we get that little PC running, I'm making a back door into that bitch. Just telling you ahead of time. Don't put your fluff stuff on that one.
Nah, I'm
Okay.
good. But
I know, no midget mud wrestling, none of that. Because I'm telling you, if I find it on your machine, I'm gonna splash it all over your damn stream. Be randomly running along. Oh no, they're gonna kill me. Oh no, they're gonna kill me. Midget and mud.
oh god, my clown porn. But no, like it's easy to be found, and you don't even need very much malware if people know how to get to your router and get into your internet or your ISP. It's not.
But you want me to honestly, from an IT standpoint, give you the biggest threat to your home network?
Mm,
You.
yeah, true.
Your social networking. Not you at the keyboard, not you even in your house. You sitting at the Arby's down the street talking to Billy Bob. If Billy Bob knows what he's doing and knows how to talk to people, he will get you to give him information that will lead him to finding your own password without having to hack shit.
Get to know you, and realize what you put down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why my passwords rotate.
Yeah,
That's why I only have a password that stays for so long before I change it, because I know that if someone gets to know me well enough and gets to know things about me well enough, they have a higher chance of figuring out what my password is without even running a cracking tool.
Yeah, my brother just told me my company got ransomware hacked last year. It was $1 billion company. So it happens. Yeah. It happens all the time. And people
happens all the time.
So get you a VPN and get you some good virus protection. And even then change your password randomly or have a password that has nothing to do with you. Nothing.
And here's the biggest thing. If you're trying to protect your password from a standpoint of somebody running a cracker, 16 characters or more. If you look it up, there's information all over the net that tells you after a specific point, after a certain length character password, it goes from being a couple of weeks to years to crack this password, depending on how long it is and how complicated you make it. Okay. It does not. People think passwords. They think stupid shit like, Andron 2222 at Blackboard or some shit like that, right? They think these things, and they're like, I'll never remember that. Here's the trick to long passwords. It's not a password. It's a passphrase.
I heard somebody say like your favorite music lyric could be really good.
Use
but then
a password phrase. Like, I'm gonna throw one out there. Genshin 2.8 rocks. That's a passphrase. You won't forget that phrase. Now you might have to change a few characters, like an A might have to become an at, an I might have to be an exclamation point, something like that. But as long as you remember the phrase, you will remember your password. When you do stupid shit and try to come up with this stuff that's like Blue Moon 2022 .73 Chevy Impala 24, that you're never going to remember that shit. That's not a phrase. That's a bunch of shit you throw together to try to make a complicated password. And congratulations, it's complicated. So fucking complicated that you're not going to be able to use it.
Yeah, or just like AB846670225N2WY. Like, good luck remembering all those numbers in that specific order and try to type it out every single time.
I mean, even where I work, it has been mandatorily enforced. No passwords under 16 characters. 16 characters, and I don't know if it still is, guys. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I know it used to be the benchmark. If you hit 16 characters with your password, it would literally take some of the best code cracking software out there months, if not years, to crack that password or passphrase. Okay?
So anything over 16. So it does not matter as long as it hits that threshold.
Right. I've had some people that have used things like favorite vacation spots or favorite drinking spots, or, you know, As long as it hits the benchmark, and you know what letters you've substitute for special characters, you're good.
Okay. I don't remember how long mine is. I don't know. I don't remember. I have to probably type it out and actually go over it. But my wife, she has a thing about like having like 5 or 6 different passwords for everything, and she's like, shit. I don't remember the password for that one. It's like, well, it has to be either this, or this. It's like one of these 5. It's like, I don't know which one. And she had to go through every single one going, that wasn't it. Nope, that wasn't it. What about this variation of it? Let me try that out. And then she were forgetting them. Like, then she just went and just started making the same password for a lot of things. It's like, well, that's also not a good idea either. You need to change it up. You need to have some difference in it, but like still have some way of, familiarity.
I can't even count the number of passwords I have. Hang on a minute. We'll start up here. 1, 2.
All the gray hairs.
Oh shit! I can't count that high.
Yeah. So it will take you forever to remember or get to all them done. Right now the book is also good, but as long as no one breaks into your house and gets that book and starts, going, well, I have their access to the entire life, but they still gotta get in the house first. So yeah, worrying about that kind of stuff is the internet is just not safe. And of course, if you're putting everything out there, like I was watching this, or not watching, I was playing this game the other day about a hacker and how they like pretty much learn everything about somebody just by their social media. Their Twitter, their Facebook, their Instagram.
So somebody threw something out the other day, and I had to make a point to them. So they're like, well, statistically speaking, the stuff that I looked at says this about this password, or how majority of these people use this password. Guys, I'm going to tell you a little secret about statistics. They're worthless. They're not, in my opinion, they're worthless. And let me tell you why. Because I know Grumpy wants to argue with me. I see it on his face because he's a statistical person.
Yes.
But here's why. Most statistics published out there aren't even really statistics. Anybody in the world, me included, I could tell you that I published this statistical data on this website. I can tell you that I published it and I got the data this way. But I could have made all that shit up and you'll never know. You know why? Because I told you what I did, and you have no choice if you want to use my statistics but to believe what I said. So and this is my opinion. This isn't your opinion. I'm not trying to change your opinion. But my opinion is statistical data is only good for hypothesizing. There is no concrete nothing in statistics. To me, I will never believe any statistical data is concrete. Mainly because it's statistics. It's numbers that you're telling me you gather. Now, yes. I know you. I trust you. And I love you like a brother.
Appreciate it.
But the truth of the matter is if you tell me, go to my website, Corvo, I posted some statistics, I gathered the data this way, I can go there and I can see those numbers. But I will never really know if you actually did what you said you did.
Yeah.
There's no way for me to know that. So it could be completely bullshit, and I wouldn't know it.
So how would somebody theoretically be able to prove to people like, hey, I went and talked to 5,000 people
You can't. That's the thing about statistics. It's a science, but it's a soft science.
What's a hard science?
The hard science is something that is concrete. I took this, see it, I dropped it in here, and it went boom.
Okay.
That's hard science.
Okay.
Soft science is me saying, I put this in there, and it went boom. You didn't see shit.
Gotcha.
You don't know for sure.
So if I went to someone to ask them a question, and I don't know, they give me the right answer.
Right. I'm not saying that they didn't do what they said they were doing. Don't misunderstand me. But if you're going to look at the human condition,
yes,
people tend to want to give you the information they want you to see.
True.
You understand
True.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
For instance, if I wanted right now to go out and find data that supported the fact that more cars are blue than red, that might not actually be true, but I guarantee you, I can go on the internet and find people that have posted things to make it look that way to support my argument. So now my argument looks infallible.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Same way if I wanted to go and find information that disproves that. So the problem is that you have to remember, like I had to tell this person, you have to remember that statistics are statistics. They are not hard, concrete evidence. You didn't go talk to those 5,000 people yourself. You don't know that that person talked to them. I'm not saying that they didn't, because I'm not going to call anybody a liar. But I also know that as a human condition tends to make people want to make their point correct.
Yes. But
What
also
I'm
at the same
saying
time, people tend to either hear what they want to hear, believe what they want to believe, right?
Right. That's
So-
true too.
So, and also if, let's say, you come up to me and ask me a question, let's say the question is, have I ever hacked anybody before? And I can just tell them, even if I have hacked someone before, which I have not, but someone asked me, and I say, yeah, I have hacked somebody before. Made myself look cool, like, yeah, I've done it before. Easy, done it.
Yeah.
Not a problem. And then they go ask a couple people, they could be just like me, doing the same exact thing, trying to look cool and saying, hey, I did that too. I did that.
Right.
I look like a badass, don't I?
Which is where the whole thing turns into a circle. Why I say, I'm not saying you can't use statistics. I'm saying you always have to take it with a grain of salt. Because you never know when the shit's not going to be right. It's not going to be real. Right there. Green. Hand me one. But you never know when it's going to happen. I mean, Billy Bob may be telling you the truth. He may have went and talked to 5,000 people, and that might be accurate numbers. But on the same hand, Billy Bob might be lying out his ass because he wants to be the cool kid.
Or the people he talked to could have been lying out their ass.
Right.
And it can skew the percentage.
The problem is always going to be the human element. Because it's always going to be, all right, out. It's always going to be one of those situations where, do I trust them? Do I don't? I mean, for instance, with me, if I posted statistical data, you went and looked at it, you because you know me, would want to believe that I'm telling the truth.
Yes.
Because you know me. But at the same time, you are always going to have that question, was he? You might not bring it forward because you would never want to call me a liar and cause problems. But you're always going to have a question. Was he telling the truth? Was he wasn't? You're going to probably go off the premise that I am because you know me. But that I'm not trying to say anything bad. I'm just trying to say that you have to be careful with that shit. Because I have been burnt at work with statistical data. Because the people that gave us the data lied out their ass.
Okay, so
it happens every day.
What happens if the data is brought forth through, let's say, legal paperwork, like, actual paperwork with written, like this happens. Let's say, there's documents every single day of 500 accidents every single day. And that is within this city, this town, 500 accidents happens a day. So out of this people that live here, 500 accidents happens a day. That means on average, this many accidents will happen so many days.
Right. So
is
I get where you're
physical
going.
Or is that
okay? But you remember who you got me here because you wanted difference of opinions, right?
Yes.
So here's my problem with that scenario. Yes, it is going through legal steps. And for most people, that's enough. It is not for me. And this is why.
Okay.
This is why. The reason being is any data gathered by a person
Mhm.
Doesn't matter what method it goes through, whether the fucking court appointed person was standing there when it happened. At any point, that shit can be skewed
Mm.
to however they feel it to be.
Mm.
They may have went through all the steps. That shit may be straight, it may be straight and narrow, but at the same time, there's always a chance that when they went into it, they kind of had an idea where they wanted it to be, and they tailored it to where they wanted it to be.
Could it be could it be exception and not the rule? Like in like that one time that they didn't do it right was the exception, but not the rule.
I don't know, man. I have a problem with. It's not that I don't trust people. I don't trust
Human error?
people. I don't trust people's ability to separate what they want to be out there versus what is actually out there.
Okay, so
For example, you may want 12 purple trucks on your block, okay? And you may walk out there and there only be 11. But that doesn't mean that that piece of paper you're filling out is going to say 11 if you want 12. And not that you're trying to be mouseful, but you're trying to push your point saying, hey, there was 12 trucks here that was purple at this time, because you're looking for a specific action off of that data. And you know that one truck less is going to prevent that action.
So you trying to say like they're looking for something that would benefit them?
Most people either look for evidence. Most people look for evidence to support their already drawn conclusions. I hate to say it that way, but it's true. Yeah. Like me, I do it all the time. Part of my job is doing that, believe it or not, because you're in everything. So even in crucial things, like you were talking about, the legal things, you already kind of have a predilection as to what you're wanting. So it's not, you may not even do it consciously. You can subconsciously steer it right to where you want it to be because you're used to doing it. It's what you do. Yeah. It's what people do. Well, you want your argument to be the right one, which is why a lot of times when you're in an argument with like a wife and a husband, the argument goes on for so long because each side of that wants their part to be true. And they're going to give you evidence no matter what that supports them. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop and go, well, you know what? This is how I feel. This is how I believe this to be. This is my supporting evidence. But you know what? I kind of see where you're coming from. And I could see where that could that shit don't happen, bro. No, that's not how that works. It's balls to the wall. I'm dying on this hill. That's how most people are.
Yeah, but even I had to admit to my wife when she's right, it feels like, I have to admit that she's right. It does hurt, and most people don't want to feel that.
Most people don't feel that at all. I hate to tell you that. That's not how they are.
That's
not how they are.
But she's right. I go, you're right. Yep, you're right.
I try to be an even flow kind of person. You've talked to me enough to know that I will hear your point. I will give you my point. At the end of the discussion, I might not have changed your mind. You might not have changed my mind, but I'm cool. All I wanted you to know is this is how I feel about this. Yeah. And this is how you feel about this. And we can move on past that shit. Because I deal with people every day.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean, six years of psychology and 11 years of fucking IT work. I should be able to diagnose fucking dementia, from across the globe by now, It's just something that happens. It's why I get so tickled at you and my wife when y'all go head to head on something. Because y'all are both, I will die on that fucking hill.
Which is not malice. It's just different opinions.
It's not malice. It's just that you will both die on that fucking hill. That's just the way y'all are. And that's why I sit in the middle and go, no. That's not what he was actually pointing out. No. That's not what she was actually doing. I'm sitting here because I do that shit every day, all day. What I do.
So, okay. My whole thing when it comes to statistics is it's not always trying to figure out what's bad in things or in people. It's in my theory, it's a theory that people want to figure out what is the cause of it and what's the primary cause of it so they can fix it, right? So they can, like, what is the
Right.
human condition if we
I
can't
can
figure out
see
each
that.
other? And
I
that's
can see that.
it's like, listen to me, like I said before in the past, I've been cheated on a lot. I want to know why. I've been cheated on a lot. I want to know why. And that's why I look up things going, okay, how often does it happen? All right. Doesn't mean I give
And
up on it. I don't give up on people.
Right. And I get that.
Mm.
But at the same time, okay, I wasn't even trying to go down this road, bro.
Well,
but
I just
we-
said the cheating part. That was
we
it.
on the bus, so
would-
beep, motherfucker. Here we go.
If you want to go all the way down it, go right ahead. But I just went
Right.
over the little dump.
This is how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was privy to the whole thing the other night.
Yeah, I know.
Because I seen it rolling through chat. Okay.
I don't know how long you
seen
were
that.
there from the beginning, though. I don't think y'all kind of came in midway.
I didn't get everything from the beginning, but I
Yeah.
was I was there for part of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this was what my problem was.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even really the argument that I had the issue with.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Yeah,
I don't care that you have your opinion, dude. You have your opinion. That's fine.
I know no malice. Go right ahead.
I don't care that they have their opinion. I don't care that she has her opinion.
Uh-huh.
Okay. What bothered me was the answers that were being given back to her were you're an exception or you're lucky. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know you don't mean malice by that.
No.
But the way it looks from a viewer on the outside, not the streamer, it looks dismissive.
Oh, yeah.
To a viewpoint.
Okay, yeah. I can see that.
You get what I'm saying?
Unless you know the person, you should know that.
Right. So it looks dismissive. And I'm doing this not from her viewpoint or your viewpoint. I'm looking at this as someone sitting in chat. That's what I had a problem with.
Gotcha. Which is some people feel comfortable about conversations like that because they either have a stronger viewpoint on it, or they have a personal, like, current day experience on it, or like that one gentleman that brought up the conversation is just fearful, like, all around. Like, he has no reason to be fearful, but other people's experiences.
And I get all that, but outside the argument, this is what I'm trying to get across. I'm sitting here reading it as chat, right? Because you asked me one time, if you remember correctly, that if you're in chat and you're looking at it from a viewer perspective, you don't agree with the way something looks, let me know. Okay, so I'm going to tell you as someone that it's not me, it's not her, not you, not them, if they're just been a rando come in.
Yeah.
The way it looked was that they had their argument. You agreed with part of their argument and, with part of it and said, that's my opinion, which all that's fine. And you were replying to Stealthy, but the replies to a person that don't know you, don't know Stealthy, don't know these other people looks dismissive as to what she was saying.
Okay. I said sorry about that.
So what it would have looked like, the way it would have read to someone from outside your chat, someone you didn't know, was that, okay, these guys have their opinions. He has his opinion. She's speaking her part. What he's saying seems to be a little dismissive. And then they would have been like, well, depend on what side of the fence they were on. If they were somebody that was like on that guy that started the conversation side of the fence, it wouldn't have bothered them one bit. But if it had been somebody that felt like, hey, wait a minute, I don't think that the generalization of this topic, basically being that certain people don't trust women and all these other facts are coming up to them, it would have looked like it was trying to be said that women are inferior and, and then at that point, if that person was on the side that women aren't inferior, now you've lost someone.
Yeah. If anybody were to say the word inferior, I would be infuriated.
Now, that was my whole thing. Okay. I will tell you what I can because I'm not going to speak for her, but I could tell you what I feel like was part of her issue with the conversation.
Mm.
And by all means, do not take this as gospel. I'm just her husband.
Yeah.
I may be completely wrong. But if I had to guess what the biggest issue in the topic was that Stealthy doesn't see herself as different than other women.
Mm.
She also doesn't see herself as necessarily lucky in the aspect that she got super lucky. She just thinks she did good. Okay, when she married me. So to her, it felt like her gender was being attacked,
Mm.
and it made her feel. It made it feel as if maybe women were being seen as inferior.
Mm.
You understand?
Yeah. But at no point did anybody bring up like, well, men, and I went, yeah, that's true. You know, like, because it was primarily a focus on men dating women, because I didn't bring the conversation up. They brought the conversation up, and I went,
right.
I can see how you'd be fearful, but even then, I didn't give up, because if I ever gave up, I never would have married. I would never even like dated afterwards, because I still believe in the human that can be good.
And I get that.
Mm.
But I guess the biggest thing is that once you feel that way, once you feel like that's where it went, it's really hard. You know, you've been in chats that's made you feel like shit before.
Oh yeah, plenty of times.
And you've been pissed off, and you've been like, what the fuck? You know, once you get to that point, it's hard to come back right then. You're gonna have to give me some time. I got to chill, I got to ruminate on this shit. You know, there is no doubt that you're a good person. You're a good man, and that you love your wife, and that you respect women. But that being said, if you read that chat as someone that don't know you, that's not how it looked. And that's just me being all love to you.
Yeah. Well, it's hard if you only caught it at the tail end of it. I was trying to be like reasonable to a point where I didn't want to say I agree with somebody and totally like, it's like, oh, that does happen. Well, I wouldn't give up. But at the same time, it's also hard to see it from an outside point of view if you don't know me either. It's just
right. And if I want to give you a piece of advice that would have helped with that whole situation, just like I said, just me, take it or leave it. If you put some effort into explaining that, yeah, I could see where that is, or that where that is, or that is, but you did that mostly on one side of the argument. You get what I'm saying?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I feel like if it had been bounced back and forth a little more even kilt from you, not them, because they're chatters.
Yeah.
You know, if it had been a little more even kilt, then a lot of that shit would, a lot of the frustrations wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. But I can only give it from my perspective. See, if I would have had Stealthy in the call, she could have gave her perspective, but she knows I don't like to be in the call too much when I'm in streams often anymore. But if she was in the...
my perspective, and I was told to shut up.
I did not say shut up. Did not say shut up. But you felt like it.
No, I was told that my point of view was flawed. That I had no valid arguments at all.
You felt like it. It's all right. It's all right. I'm not upset about it. She can put the frustration on me. It's all right. I'm gonna be mad about it. But it is that would have been in the call, but there probably would have caused for turmoil. But I was only giving from my perspective that what I have come to learn. That was it. But I tried to understand the gentleman's point of view, because their experience was totally different than mine. Their experience was unrational because they never experienced it themselves. They just experienced it through other people. I'm like, well, you can't experience that through other person because you don't know that's what happened to you. Like he put up the gentleman that had his life ruined by his ex-wife, and they had kids, and I'm like, yeah, but that's not your experience. Like that's what they experience, not your experience. So it's not really true if you're gonna try it out, and it doesn't mean it's gonna happen to you. So I was dismissive to his point of view because it doesn't mean it would happen to him. That he would get married, that he would find a gold digger, he'll get a wife, and they would divorce him, take all of his money and all of his kids. I'm like,
right.
It does happen though. It does happen. There are a few exceptions.
You're right. It does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I don't know that it's my personal experience. And again, I said this is my personal experience. This is not yours. This is not hers. This is not that gentleman's. Okay, my personal experience. Been around a lot of people that's been married, divorced, cheated on, cheated with, cheated against, what the fuck ever. Okay, 90, I would say 95% of those people, whether it be men or women,
which is percentage. Yeah.
Notice what I say. Yeah, I know it's a percentage. It's a guess. It could be bullshit. Okay. Not saying it's not. Not saying that I have any way to prove it.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion. I would say 95% of the people that I have met that has been through that situation, most of the women were being treated like dog shit to begin with. Or most of the men were being accused of doing it and they weren't, and they just finally got fucking tired of being accused of doing something they didn't do. I mean, case in point, I have a cousin right now that lived for 4 years married to this woman, and every day was accused of cheating and never did it once. And finally, one day he woke up year 5 and said, you know what? If I'm going to be fucking accused of it, I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is.
Sounds like a spiteful thing rather than just say.
And it is. And it absolutely is. You know, but the point is that that was the catalyst for that cheat.
Yeah. And of course,
just like Heather, her husband beat the shit out of her every day. I seen the march myself. After a certain point, she wants someone that's going to love her, not beat her.
Yeah. And of course, it comes to like believing which side is telling the truth. Of course, you have physical evidence. It's kind of hard not to believe that. But if it's someone saying, both sides are at each other's throats, it's hard to believe. Because one side, you want to believe them because you love them, right? Let's say that person's your friend. The other person's not your friend, but that's that's your spouse. You want to believe the person that's your friend because that's your friend. But then you're not looking at the other side of it. You're only looking at it from the side that you are aware of. And now you're angry because you only have one perspective, and that's theirs.
You're right. And that just goes back to that whole thing about statistics. You're not seeing both sides because you're kind of steered one way. I don't. I mean, but there's always the other group that were they were born horn dogs or hoes, and they're going to die horn dogs and hoes because that's just how they were. It's how they are and how they're going to be. Okay. But it has been my experience, and in my opinion, I've seen more of the cheated because you were blamed for doing something you didn't do for a long time, or cheated because you were treated like shit, versus I was just born to screw every pecker that I find, or I was born to, give it to every woman I can find, Now, I can't speak to your situation. I can't imagine you treating a woman wrong because I know you.
Never have.
That leads me to believe that they were probably hoes to begin with. Sorry, but that's just what it leads me to believe.
Every one of them has broke up with me or cheated on me, and then to be immediately with that person they were with, they cheated on me or broke up with me to be with. Every single one of them. Right. And of course, my middle brother, I'm not gonna tell his whole story, but his wife literally broke up with him because she just wasn't happy.
I mean,
just wasn't happy.
That same cousin that I was talking about got married a second time, and week 2 found out that newlywed wife was cheating on him and wanted to leave him. So, I mean, I get your point. I just feel like if I had been a viewer sitting outside watching it, I would have been a little disappointed at it. Seemed to be more one-sided than the other. Just, I mean, I'm not trying to start no shit, not trying to be
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I can see
just
that.
being honest, just trying to be honest with you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, at any time you see some shit like that in my stream, call me out on it. Let me know, because I don't care. I'm just one of those people. I'd rather know.
Yeah, but at the same time, I usually when I watch other streamers, not you or Stealthy, but I watch other streamers. I do watch other streamers, and their opinions come about. My usual way of around it, the whole conversation, if I don't like it, is I type in the chat or I say I disagree. They ask
Which
me,
is what I did.
Yeah.
Which is what I did when I
But
said
when
I
they-
don't agree with you.
when they say, "Hey, what you don't disagree?" I go, this one part, but everything else, I can see what you're saying, right? I like to tell them I see what they're saying, even if I don't really all the time, because somewhere along some minor details are flawed in my skew. I like to try to see from their perspective, but otherwise, I just say I disagree, because I know if I get into the whole conversation, it will start going from a disagreement in a conversation to becoming feel like a personal attack. Like Stealthy was feeling, and I'm sorry for that. It was not a personal attack. I didn't even try to word it that way, but maybe I did, and I'm sorry for that. But I don't like to try to make the person feel like I'm being attacking them either, because they feel or think that way. They want to feel like that way. I am not there to try to educate them. I'm not there trying to teach them anything. I'm here to play video games or watch somebody play video games or talk about video games or something I enjoy, whether it's something that cause contention or things. But when someone asks me a question, I'm gonna give them my answer. I'm gonna give them my thoughts. If they don't like it, well, there's the door. Well, technically, there's the exit key. I'd rather than watch me, because I like to know people, and everybody has different opinions on everything in life, because we are all different in almost every single way, though we tend to do all the same things at the same time. It's kind of like an oxymoron.
And I get that. I wanted you to know that from me looking at it as a viewer that didn't know you or any of the people in the chat, it looked a little one-sided.
Yeah, and from your skew, it could have, but someone else could have came in and like, I don't see it. Don't
right. So,
not there.
Some other people may have not have seen it that way. I can tell you that I know that Stealthy wasn't expecting to feel that way. Okay. So that is why she is chilling and mumming and just relaxing. She's trying to get through it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Well, I told her the phone call is open and ready for her.
Yes,
I won't be screaming or yelling. I will just be listening. So if she has to release vent it, she can.
I get that, but you've met Stealthy, so you also know she's one of those people she don't want to scream and yell either. So she's going to take time to chill before she tries to bring up anything.
Okay.
Because she don't want to do that. And I mean, even if me and her get an argument, this is a case in point. Even if me and her get into a heated argument, she usually tries to go to another room and chill. Let the aggravation and shit go before we try to discuss what the hell just happened. Because she don't want to scream, she don't want to holler. She wants to get to a point where we can have a conversation that's civil and both people be heard and be done.
Yeah.
But sometimes that takes longer than other times. So we'll get there, but yeah, that was an event.
I can't say that's not been in my mind. I knew it was gonna come up some point today, so I wasn't like worried about it, but I was trying to think how I could describe it.
I mean, look,
I agree with what you're gonna say. Just say it. Like, it's not gonna be like, so again, I don't get angry. I may get grumpy, but that's about it.
It's like this. She feels like that the whole topic led to women are inferior to men,
Mm-hmm.
and that there was a lot of bashing on specific topics of women.
Mm.
And then when she tried to reply,
Yes, I know. Yeah, then it felt like I was dismissive.
She felt dismissive.
Mm.
So, and honestly, dude, that's a big thing for her because
Mm.
she has spent her entire life being dismissed.
Yeah.
And
Now, some information I wasn't totally privy on because I was an assumption, but assumption does not make the rule or exception. But assumptions do not make facts either.
Yeah.
But then again, the information may not have been totally clarified, so I wasn't privy to the information. I won't give her information out. Everybody's watching, but it's hers, and now I know it, or at least know vaguely of it. But if that information was maybe known to me, I would have probably been a little bit more receptive. But it's
Right.
not their fault. It's not her fault at all either.
At the same time,
Get out of that, little one. What are you doing?
when it was all said and done, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm not her husband either.
Yeah,
and
you have to be.
That it didn't
Irk
ruffle
you?
my feathers. Yeah, it ruffled my feathers a bit too.
Yeah, because you're supposed to be
mean,
protective of your wife.
Okay, so here's my personal opinion on, because I wasn't in that chat.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm going to give you how I feel about that viewpoint. Okay, and you can take it for what it's worth.
Yeah,
I think that women being viewed as the ones that cheat more than men, I think that's bullshit. I think it's equal on both sides.
Well,
that's just
I did my research, like I said before, and they say men cheat more. But in the past couple of years, the rise of it has increased. And I first looked it up a long time ago. This is back in 2010. It was primarily women. So it was statistic things that I was in the predication of, like,
right.
I hear people say this, people do talk, and then I look up more research, and well, then the whole, like, just because you ask 10 people doesn't mean 10 people are telling the truth.
Okay, so that's what I feel about that point. To your dude's point about being all hyper worried because of all this shit's happened to his friends, grow a fucking sack. Okay, just grow a sack, bro. You're a grown fucking man, at least I'm assuming you are if you're going to go into these topics. Okay, I may be wrong, but grow a sack. Those are your friends. Maybe they fucked up. Maybe you won't. Stop whining. Okay, you got a viewpoint. Fine, I heard it. You know what? I see what you're saying. Not saying that you're wrong. That it's not. I'm not saying that it won't happen to you. But if your thought process is that it is going to happen to you, you will manifest it upon yourself.
It could happen. It could happen. Doesn't mean it will happen.
Right. I don't remember what the other gentleman, the gold digger dude. Look, man, if anybody's gonna gold dig you for $52K a year, them motherfuckers must be sleeping in a cardboard box under an overpass.
Well, my thought is, like, wherever he might live, $52K might be a lot. I don't know. He lives in Scotland or in other countries. He doesn't live in America. So I don't know if that's a lot of money where he lives. Okay. I have no idea.
And now, to the point to Stealthy feeling like she was being dismissed. Look, bro, that's my wife. I was not fucking happy. I ain't gonna lie to you. It lit me up a little bit, but I'm a professional type of dude, and I know you, and I do love you, and there wouldn't be a whole lot that I wouldn't do for you, but I will tell you, I was not happy at the end of that shit the other night.
Yeah, someone hurt my wife's feelings, or maybe I
wasn't. Honestly, and I'm not, like I said, not trying to be an ass, but I honestly was debating on whether I was doing the podcast today or not. Okay,
if
not
you were
trying to be an ass.
No, if you told me, if you told me that we're not doing the podcast today, I was fully ready and prepared for it.
I know you were, but my point is that. Ironically enough, the person that talked me into it and made sure that I was here was the very person that felt like she was dismissed in the chat.
Mm.
Because as she pointed out to me,
Mm.
just because I am upset with the situation does not mean that you have to be. That's being said, as I tried to tell her, and as you would have told your wife in that situation, I don't give a fuck. You know, you're my wife. Like,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Like, if I did something that made your wife feel like that,
Yeah.
and then you just didn't want to do a podcast, I would get that.
Mm.
Because, bro, that's your wife.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you now, I don't like my wife feeling dismissed at all. Because, in my opinion, she's one of the greatest fucking women I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
She don't see that she's an exception. She's always an exception to me, especially the exception that makes my world go round.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So she's always special. She's always an exception.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a hard time when I look at her and see that she legitimately feels like her whole gender was just smashed.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, but it's a wording that you say that makes me like go on it. It's someone were to say something about men, and I feel that that's an attack on men. Is it actually an attack on men if just because I feel it?
And that might be true. I get what you're saying.
Then you have to figure out whether, like, you have to figure out whether or not is their attention matching the full scale of who they are. I can't hear her, so it's all right.
She said
that Leo would disagree with what you were saying.
No, I said Leo would agree. I said Leo would agree with you. I said agree.
No, that's what she said. That's what she said. She said
Mm.
you specifically said that Leo would disagree with you and would probably give you hell if she was in chat. That's what she's saying. She's saying what you said was right.
Oh, okay. I thought I said I disagree. I'm like,
you were attacking gender.
I didn't say nothing.
No. What she's saying is to her, that's like you acknowledging to yourself, whether you realize it or not, that that was an attack against gender. If you knew that somebody else of that gender would also be pissed off about it, then it was like you knew that the gender itself would feel that way about the conversation.
Mm-hmm. But the entirety of the conversation, or that one thing the person brought up. The thing the person brought up was the whole gold digging thing. I remember because I went back and watched it. The gold digger thing. And when Southie said, I disagree with that, I went, and I'm like, well, it does happen, but I bet Leo would agree with that. And she probably pissed off that I said it does happen and girls do that. I'm just saying that was the lining of conversation leading up to green.
Like, the comment I made was prior to the gold digger comment. I was responding to something that you said prior to the gold digger comment.
But I was saying something after the gold digger comment that it was leading me to assume that you were disagreeing to that statement.
So which statement was it that you made the comment on prior? Okay. I don't know either.
I had the entire video. I had not posted because I didn't want no one to see it because I don't want that to be a public thing that would be like, hey, everybody go watch and how it came about. But I do have the entire thing. I watched the entire thing. I'm not gonna lie here because what I benefit from it by lying? Losing Stealthy as a friend that I still think it's a friend.
I don't know, man.
It was just a cascading conversation that a lot of wheels were running, and the wheels.
It turned quick and
wasn't heated. Well, not from my end. It was not heated. I wasn't angry or mad or pissed off. So
no, it turned from a conversation into a debate, I guess would be the best way to say it. And at the end of the debate, instead of both parties walking away and saying, I see what you said, or you see what I say, or whatever. They walked away with this party feeling like they just got trashed, you know? And I don't know. I tried not to engage in the chat from the simple standpoint that I was trying to look at it from a viewer that wasn't one of us.
Yeah. And
Because
also
I
you
was
came
trying-
in midway,
I was-
so
I was trying right, and I was trying to stay neutral.
Mm.
But I cannot lie and say that at the end of that conversation, I was probably not neutral anymore. I was
Hey.
a little pissed off, bro.
I'm not gonna be upset. You say those words. Go ahead.
I'm still a little pissed off a little bit, but you know, I feel I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say this. I just feel like it could have been handled.
Well, if
better.
if they didn't bring it up the conversation, because it's mostly a social thing, kind of like a political point, right? Where it's
Yeah.
a social aspect, and people have like different experiences in life. So when people are brought into social aspects and their social ideology or opinions start to come about that's different from theirs, like you brought up earlier, people tend to have an emotional connection with it, and they
right,
and they will start going from a what is rational to what is offense on me.
right, and I get that, and I look at it like this. This is it in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
I think cheating is 50-50 in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think home dude needs to grow a sack. I think the other dude needs to make more money before he worries about gold diggers.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think women are inferior or dependent upon men at all.
No,
to be perfectly honest, and this is why I say that. Have you seen some of the women out there now? They will pick you up and toss your ass over top of your house. They don't need you to do shit. And I had this argument today at work. Somebody literally said, "Oh, you think so? Well, how are they gonna have kids, bro? There's enough of our shit stocked up. They don't fucking need men to have kids no more.
No, they
don't need us, and it's not necessarily that we need them. It's a symbiotic relationship. We work better together.
Yeah, we want to be with each other. Like
we
human.
Work better together. It's not that women need men, because by God, I can tell. If I could put a video in my work over there, I could show you some women that would quickly let you know by just watching what they do physically on a day to day, know that they don't need your ass to do shit.
Yeah.
Okay. And I can show you men that are the exact same fucking way. So I just feel like the whole thing kind of spiraled at the end there, and I feel like that the way that things were interpreted was that women are inferior, they're dependent upon men, and they need men. And I just don't believe that's true.
Yeah, that was too many stacking factors, because while I was disagreeing with some of their point of views, their point of views were still worded and brought out. And then they brought up another opinion, and I would say that's not true or don't agree. But then one thing came about, then I agree with that. It's like it was a blanket effect rather than a balancing or a mutual, up and down. It was a blanket statement kind of like thing, rather than just a different grounds.
I wish now, not then, but I wish now I had taken more part in the conversation sooner. And because then it wasn't men and women, then it was man and woman. And it's hard to argue and make someone feel that way if the same gender as you is arguing for that gender. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I tried to do it objectively and look at it as a viewer, because I wanted to be able to give you feedback on as an outside viewer, what I think. Notice what I said. What I think an outside viewer might have perceived.
Mhm.
But I feel like at the same time, I also did my wife an injustice by not being in chat and being vocal for the point that I felt.
Mm.
So I'm
I don't know
as
if any guys in the chat, other than me, that one wording where she felt I was being dismissive, whether I was or was not. I'm not trying to argue on that one, even though I felt like I wasn't. I don't feel like any guys in the chat were being dismissive against her statement. They were not speaking up about it afterwards when she made a statement, in other words, or even made an agreement or a disagreement. They kind of just stayed crickets. I'm not saying the chat was bad for that. I'm just saying if they would have said something about it, maybe some of them would have the same viewing opinions. Other than the one time saying, one gentleman did say when $52,000 was not a gold digger thing, one person in the chat did say, I agree with Stealthy. That was the only time that someone in the chat said they agreed.
and that was me that said I agree with her.
Oh, was it you? Oh,
it was the only time in chat that I actually spoke a point.
Okay, I thought it was ironic, but maybe ironic. I'm gonna read the chat again because like I said, I was listening to what I was saying, and someone in the chat.
Honest, I don't know, man. I feel like that, and my objectivity may be skewed because it's my wife, but I feel like that shit went so far to the point that had there been any other female viewers in there besides Stealthy, I think they would have hauled ass too. I'm just being honest with you.
Well, yeah, and I was hoping Leah would be there, so she would honestly be like there to not fight on the behalf, but fight with when people made certain statements, and the guys were making things and going, "Hey, that's not true either," or that doesn't happen every single time, because I am not that either. Like I am not like I don't think Leo is a gold digger. I don't think she's a cheater. I don't think she's any of that stuff. So when she was there and people say, "Oh, girls do it," they would have been like, "I don't do it." So they're out there. They do exist. They are real. Just maybe you're holding this idea in front of you the entire time that all of them do this all the time because what you perceive as reality.
Well,
and the next comment you made was, "Well, you got lucky with Corvo."
Corvo was a great guy. He's a great guy. There's not all good guys out there. There's some shitty guys out there. I know like two of them.
Translation for that to what she would have what it seemed like was being said to her. What she understood from it was that last comment you just made doesn't really apply because you're a lucky one.
Yes.
So there's the dismissive.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's my perspective. I'm saying she got lucky. She found a good guy that wasn't a piece of shit like you and I both know there is.
Is that the more you said shit like that, the more they just ignored me.
Was not intending to do that.
When he said something.
Yeah. Well,
they respond every time she says something.
No. She's saying they only responded.
Oh, they only responded
when I said something.
Okay,
so
they
basically,
only responded.
What she's saying is the way you made the comment gave them the thought process to just dismiss what she was saying. Not that you might not have meant to be dismissive, but the point is that by saying it, you made them feel like they could dismiss her.
But they dismissed her in almost the entire time. They never spoke up to her. She would type something and they wouldn't respond. And then something would type something, they wouldn't respond. I would respond because I want to talk to everybody. It was my thing. I talked to everybody. Right. But when they didn't respond, it became, I'm realizing this now, it became as if their actions were mine because they're in my channel. So whatever they did reflected on me. Whatever they said reflected on me, which is not technically fair because they are not me.
You did not shut them down.
I should not have to shut them down. I'm not there to teach them. I'm not there to belittle them or make or say get the fuck out because you're being a genuine prick. I'm not there to do that. I am there to try to entertain and try to make interesting conversation, but I was not trying to make it a fight. I was trying to make it I can somewhat see that. I can agree with that. That does happen. Does is a word. I was trying to be just like, hey, and that conversation literally lasts 3 minutes.
Unsafe.
So you wanted me to shut them down and tell them, shut the fuck up. You're wrong. And if she says something, you have to agree with her.
Continue to talk like that when there's obvious other people talking instead of dismissing someone.
I did. If I did seem like I was dismissive, I said I was sorry for that. I was not my intentions, but I was trying to be a general middle person, trying to see both sides. And every time you made a statement, I would respond with that. And when you made one statement, and I thought you were talking about the gold digger part, when it was literally after it, I watched the footage. I knew that would be part of contention. So I was like, well, if that's what she was talking about, then I would agree with that because the gold digging part. Because I'm like, I don't agree with that either. Leo's here, she wouldn't agree with that either. It was literally the very point where I was trying to sway the conversation off of it. We went to money, and I'm like, okay, thank God, we're over this. Literally, the whole feminine thing literally lasted 3 minutes. And it was like, oh my God, can we jump to the next conversation here? Because I am so done with this. And I was trying to be like, okay, let's move to the next conversation here. Let's move on because this not comfortable for me or the woman in the chat, which was stealthy because I could tell there was some contention, but I just didn't know how bad it was until she literally called me a feminist, which is almost like calling someone a racist. It's kind of a deep statement. That's my feelings. That's just my feelings, but I didn't get mad about it. I didn't get mad. I didn't get upset. I got worried. I got worried. I got worried. I'm like,
there are 4 females.
well, I'm sorry. I didn't hear what she said there.
She said sexist calls out a sex. Feminists are for females.
Well, I'm sorry. I read it as a feminist.
But listen.
Because my dyslexia.
All I can say from my standpoint is if we'd have been in my chat, this is just me.
The conversation wouldn't have been brought up.
That you may be making feel uncomfortable.
I was trying to, without saying it, though. Yeah, you're more blunt than I am. I'm a little more converse.
Right. And that's where the problem lies, because she expected you, especially you, because of how well you know each other.
Yeah.
To realize that she was uncomfortable and not run them out of chat, but just be like, guys, look, this is not working. You're making other people in chat not feel comfortable. Change topic, please. Just be done with it. But you never did that.
Well, I didn't do it in words. I did it in actions. I saw a conversational piece and I swapped over to that as fast as I could. Problem is, not everybody was dragging with me. They were kind of still like on it. I'm like,
which is why sometimes you have to be blunt.
I'm not naturally a mean person. I like to say, shut the fuck up or shut up. Stop talking about it. Get the fuck over it.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If we're in my chat and you hear me tell somebody, guys, this is making Grumpy feel uncomfortable, let's change this topic. Am I being mean?
I would feel like you were being mean to them, but it's the way you would.
That's not being mean.
I know, but that's the way I would feel. Like that's the whole feeling thing, right? That feeling is different.
But that's not being mean to them. That's asking them to respect the bounds of the chat. Because that is the very reason why so many streamers, like even we talked about when we made this podcast, no political.
Yes.
No religious.
Yes.
That's why we have those fucking rules. Because we don't want that shit to happen. And so when it starts going that way, we ask them, guys, please don't do this. Go to another topic. You know, I'm not saying you have bad viewpoints. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're right. I'm just saying that there's other people in this chat that I want to be here along with you that are feeling uncomfortable because of this conversation. Please change.
Okay, so here's a thought experiment. We're way over our time, but we're seeing like we're on a roll here.
Look, man, I don't care.
Okay, so let's say let's say a point of view comes into chat, right? Their point of view comes into chat. That's not something that you particularly are too educated on. Okay, you're not educated on it at all. But someone else goes to the chat and starts spouting off their viewpoints and the ideology and all that stuff like that. And you don't really know it will irk you until they start talking into it. How would you know when that conversation should not be there in the first place? It's like I didn't really think it would go that deep, but the person just kept on dating with it, and I'm going, okay, well, this is my view on it.
This is me. If I'm the streamer and that shit happens in my stream, so Grumpy comes in and he starts going, I'm pro blue balls and I'm pro this and I don't know much about this shit, but now I'm suddenly feeling uncomfortable. You are the streamer. Yes, you are there to entertain, but at the same time, you're also supposed to be helping your community not feel a certain kind of way. So chances are, if you're feeling that way, somebody else in your chat feels that way. And if you feel that way, then at that point is when you need to go, guys, I'm not comfortable with this conversation. I'm not saying you can't have it elsewhere. I'm not saying that you're wrong or you're right or anything, but we need to kill it and move to something else because I don't feel like this is going to make the stream better.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is going to be the entertainment, the joy and stuff that we're trying to bring.
Well, some streamers they thrive off of like drama topics and people like watching it, even if they don't agree, they like watching because it gets people riled up.
I get that, but at the same time, you know those type of people, you meet them every day to day. Are they the kind of people you bring to your house and hang out with?
No.
All right. So if you're not willing to have that kind of person hang out with you in your house, you want them hanging out with your friends in your chat?
No. Then again, I never know very much know anything about that one guy. That's his name. That one guy.
And I get that.
He kind of came in and then brought that up. I'm like,
I get that he came in. He's somebody that you've probably never seen before. I get that.
Well, I seen him once, but that was like he was in and out like within a matter of minutes. And I think ironic it's a troll, but I don't really know if he's a troll or not.
I honestly think, and this is just my opinion, I honestly think that shit was coordinated to do exactly what the fuck it did. Disrupt your chat and disrupt your fucking stream. And
probably true.
If you're not on top of it, they do that shit. That's why you notice when I'm in my stream, Twilight will come in and he'll blow out anything that's bot wise, and he'll go do his thing. You notice Earl, Lambino, all them guys will hang out. They know they stick to certain types of topics because they know Corvo don't play bullshit. You come in here, you play nice, or he'll just tell you, hey man, talk about your topic like that somewhere else, because I don't want you hanging out with my peoples if you're gonna make my chat toxic. Because the honest truth is, if you want to build a chat in a community, there's gonna have to be a type that you build. You can't let he bit his tongue. Okay, so like for instance, I have my community of people that come, and a lot of them are people that come to yours, a lot of them are people that come to Stealthy's. They come and watch me stream. I am comfortable with that community. I'm comfortable with you. I'm comfortable with Stealthy, Earl, all of you guys, right? But now if I'm sitting there and that same guy from your chat pops in there and he starts making things kind of toxic, because I can tell that people aren't feeling good. You guys, y'all precedent. Motherfucking get the hell out. Okay.
Well,
I
he
don't
was
play that
behaved. He was behaved after, and he was behaved the first time I saw him in chat. But this
Right.
time he just came in and just like a wrecking ball, just brought that
Which
one
makes-
conversation.
Which makes me lean more towards the fact, dude, I'm streaming. Which makes me lean more to the fact that I almost feel like that shit was designed to create all the discord that it could.
Mm. Yeah, whether or not his statements or his things that happened to his friend actually happened to his friend or not, or his friend was real, or those incidents were, or he even really actually feels that way. Like if he actually thinks that way, could have been all designed and predicated off the.
I can tell you now,
Mm,
if that shouldn't been happen, like if we could go back right now and
Yeah.
you got that stream going again right now. I know that there was a moment, because I know you. I know there was a moment prior to it getting to that point that you felt like, I don't know if this should be in the chat. I don't like this topic. This. We need to change this shit. I know you.
I looked at my
You knew
face at one point, and I knew at one point I was like, change. I saw it over my face. I'm like, yeah, and then I thought that I'm like,
if you had at that point just literally leaned to your mic and said, "Hey guys, this topic, it ain't gelling with chat. There's people not feeling comfortable. We need to change it." If you had just said that, if you'd have just put a little finger on it a little bit, I guarantee you some of the issue that she has right now would be abated.
Yeah,
Just because she would have known that, hey, Grumpy was looking after the entire chat and he was like, look, this shit ain't working. Guys, we just need to change it up. We're not saying shut them down from the standpoint throwing the fuck out of chat. I mean, everybody has a right to come in and watch you play. Just make sure that everybody in chat is playing nicely. You know,
well,
not making other people feel like shit.
My general rule is I want everybody to have the rights to their own opinions. Doesn't mean their opinions are right or wrong.
Right.
I want them not to come there either to voice their opinions either. I'm not there to be like, hey, everybody come give me your thoughts on some deep topics. It's just mostly, hey, I want you, if you say something that's not really an attack on someone, but it's a skew toward a certain thing, that's your opinion, bro. That's you. That's all on you. But like I've been doing this for 5 years, and I've never had someone come into chat and drop a topic that got heated. So I wasn't in the mindset that like, hey, let's get heated about this. Let's get angry. But I could tell stuff that was uncomfortable. I was like, I gotta change the topic. Because I feel like that's what we need to do.
But the point is that I guess you, like you said, you weren't expecting it, and I get that. But at the same time, at some point, I know that you, like you say, you're there to entertain.
Mm-hmm.
You're not there for drama and shit
or education.
But when drama starts, it is your stream, bro. You know. I mean, now if you want to add me as a moderator, you ain't got to be the rude one. Promise.
Yeah.
You might fire my ass the next day, but if some shit like that starts, I'm going to politely type in chat, guys, there's other people in chat that aren't feeling comfortable. Can we change this?
Then again,
and the first one that backlashes is going to be click ban.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been angry. Yeah, I would have been mad about that. But no, like Celthi is a moderator too, so she could have, and I appreciate she didn't. She let them have their opinions, but she could have said, "Hey, let's stop this," and just
I tried. She. That's just the thing. Do you know how hard it was for her not to hit the ban button? But she told me to my face, I shit you not, with tears running down her damn face, I'm not going to do that to him.
You should have. Fuck it.
But it is not my channel.
I know, but I trust you.
She don't want to be the cause for you losing community. She would rather get the shit beat out of her than cost you anybody. dude.
Yeah, but if she
And
cost me
that's
her.
I think that's what hurts her more than anything is because she loves you so damn much, and it happened in your channel.
Yeah, but if it would cost me her, I'd rather get rid of the problem because she is my main, like she's my president. Well, she's whatever you called her a few minutes ago. She is the VP.
Moderator.
No, what is the word when you mean the VIP? She's my VIP. So if someone else is trying to kick her out of her VIP position or make the VIP uncomfortable, get them the hell out. I don't need one person to rule them all. I need a group of people that I can hang out with, not just one person that can dictate where the conversation goes. So if she would have picked them out, I'm like, thank you in my head. But in my mind, I'm like, sorry to see you leave. Thank God the conversation's over. It would have been that easy.
And I told her, I was like, he better be glad I'm not a moderator. Because I'd have booted that bitch so fast his head would have spun. She'd have been happy the conversation was over, pissed at me for booting the motherfucker and costing you a person. So I can handle her being, yeah. But the point is that I was legit so aggravated at the end of that stream, and it wasn't all directed. I guess my problem was like I seen where he was gonna go. Even though I come in halfway, I knew where that shit was going.
It reminded me of high school. I even said it didn't.
I was thinking to myself, if I knew that bitch was over 21 and lived close enough.
Well, he's in another country. He's in either Scotland or Finland or one of those two. So he's not in the States. Also, like I think he was in college and he's doing his degree in the sciences with deadly diseases. He could be all lying, right? All this could be just a lie, just a big old skew to make him seem better and bigger, whatever. And I was just going like, this reminds me of high school. Somebody asked my opinions on relationship. Don't give up on women.
I will say this. You cracked me the fuck up at one point.
What?
When we got on the money topic and they were like, come on, Corvo, tell us how much you make. And I said, not below this, not above this. And you go, well, I know him. So I'm going to say he's probably not lying. It's somewhere in there.
Actually, I said I think it's above it.
Yeah, I can't say he's bluffing.
I don't think you're bluffing at all because I know what you're worth.
No, I mean I gave you the numbers I gave you were legit. Mm-hmm. It's between those two. I'm not giving anybody my exact fucking income.
Yeah.
Especially after I'm looking at my wife in tears, bitch. What I want to give you ain't numbers for income. You know, I'm getting upset, but that's not the point. My point is that at the end of the day, I just wish that somebody would have asked for the topic to be changed. Like, not just try to lead it there, just ask. Be like, look, guys, change the topic. Because at that point, this is what it does for me. That tells me you know that shit's making her feel uncomfortable, or Leo, or any other woman that might have been there feel uncomfortable, and you're trying to take care of your entire chat. Then what that does is take anything that he's done that might have been placing aggression towards you off of you. I'm not mad at you anymore because you try to do what you needed to do. Now I'm focused on this son of a bitch because he ain't stopped.
Yeah, now, I was trying to be too civil.
Yeah, you were too civil. That was the entire fucking problem. You were too civil.
That's just the nature of mine. I don't like being
and
aggressive.
You know what? I understand that. I knew that the moment that you took your Discord and gave it to your moderators. I knew that. The reason I know that is what that tells me is Grumpy doesn't want to be mean and he doesn't want confrontation with anybody. That's what it tells me. But at the same time, bro, sometimes you can't avoid that shit. I'm not telling you to go out there and be a hard ass and like start booting motherfuckers out of your chat, but at least ask them when they're doing stupid shit. Please don't do that. Because then the rest of your chat goes, hey, you know, he's a good guy. He was trying to take care of everybody. These assholes, though, they keep on going to stop it. That way, when I or somebody in your moderator group goes ban, they're like, huh, guess they shouldn't have kept fucking talking.
Well, there's banning and there's timing out. I don't know if timeouts would have been any better, but like I said, he was up. He was good the first time I met him, which was like he was there for like less than a minute, and then showed up again out of nowhere, and then dropped that bomb. It was not a foreseeable thing. And at the same time, I don't know if he's gonna come back ever again. He may never come back ever again. It's not because I banned him.
I'm gonna give you warning because I love you and I want you to know.
Mhm.
If I'm ever in your chat and that bitch shows up again, you probably gonna want to time me out or ban me really quickly. I'm just being honest.
Hey,
it's my wife. If it was you and it was your wife, you would tell me the same shit and you know it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you now, if he shows up, I dare him to come to my stream. Whoever you are, come to my stream. I dare you.
Like I said, he could come to your stream and be a complete fucking gentleman. I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying he could and come a complete gentleman or say sorry. I'm not saying he won't say sorry because I don't really know if you watch the podcast.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Do I strike you as the forgiving type?
Yes, you're forgiving me for accidentally hurting your wife that I didn't intend to do.
But here's my thing though. Who started the shit?
He did.
Okay. So
I'm not trying to say who started is better than the person that you finished it.
You're right. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying who started it, and ultimately, to me, where it starts is where it ends. I feel like I've told you what I think you could have done better from your side. I'm done with that. Now you know what I think. Whether you do anything about it or not, that's all on you, bro. I can't make you do shit. You're a grown ass man. But what I can tell you is if he shows up in my stream or he shows up in your chat and I'm there, you're gonna want to ban me because I'm gonna light that motherfucker up like a Christmas tree.
You are the VIP.
You know, because I do a lot of things, and I was the big boy. I took the step back. I tried to look at everything from an outside viewer so that I could give you that perspective. I've given you that perspective now. I'm not an outside viewer anymore. Now I'm a viewer whose wife just got her feelings hurt to the point that she teared up and was literally crying. Now all bets is off. You show up in chat, and I'm going to take 6 years of psychology to your ass and make you go roll your shit in balls and color on the wall.
I would say Celtic can pretty much do it by herself. I've seen how she she can verbally.
I'm going to tell you, if she wanted to, I swear to God, the amount of restraint she held the other night, I have never seen her ever do for any other streamer. That was only for you, brother. Only.
I appreciate it, but I kind of suspected it. Now,
if she cut loose on his ass, you'd have known it because you've heard her type before.
Yeah.
So you can only imagine the amount of replies she could pop out to one of his comments at the time. At some point, he's going to give up just because he can't type fast enough to reply back to her.
Okay? He even wanted to reply to her any of her statements because he's so afraid of women. Like the dude seemed like he was deathly afraid of women to the point he was even scared of his own sister. I'm like, what woman harmed you? I didn't know. I didn't want to ask him because again, I don't want to dig into him. But like seriously, like he was up to the point he wouldn't respond to anything she said. None of the guys very much did, except for you. And I was like, yeah, okay, all right. I'm responding to her, but no one else is responding to her. Let's change the topic. And that's what I found a moment. Yeah, I probably should have been blunt. True, that's probably true. Sometimes I need a reminder. Hey, Grumpy, it's not wrong to be blunt. You can do that.
Listen, and this might not mean shit to you, but if I'm in your chat and you ever have a moment where you think you should be blunt, but you're not sure, you can literally send me a message, say, should I? That's all you got to say. And I will reply to you honestly, yes or no. Because if I say yes, that means I'm already at the point that I'd have been blunt. You know, if you just need somebody else to help you make that decision, brother, I will be your man.
But sometimes you're late at your sleep and Stealthy's not always there to I can't always respond or give her a question. I need another person that can do that too.
That's true.
Text you while you sleep. My chat's being rowdy. Should I?
Yes. But I mean, I just it irks me from the standpoint is I don't like it that she's upset.
hmm
I also don't like the fact that he took the opportunity to do that shit in your chat.
Mm.
It upsets me.
Mm.
You know, yes, were there things you might could have done different? Yes, we've went over that. Done
Yeah.
with that. That's beating a dead horse. But leave my fucking people alone. Go the fuck on somewhere else. I'd be wanting to fight.
Mm. Like I've had
You know?
trolls in my channel before that were making the chat uncomfortable, but I had someone like ban them. So it was like it wasn't even in a hey, I need to ban them. It was like I guess they could tell, and maybe it was even Stealthy that did it. I don't remember who did it, but it was definitely one of the people that was
Ban
being
anybody for him
really weird in the chat.
at any point.
It was back in Dauntless days. Remember the Dauntless days?
Back
It was
at Dauntless, he said. Yeah. Yes.
that one person was being really fucking weird and saying weird things in the chat. I'm like, this is awkward. I don't feel comfortable with this. And then like a second later, ban. I'm like, bye. See ya.
Yep.
They were talking basically trash against you, and I was getting sick of it.
Yeah, and it was.
And I gave warnings.
She gave them warnings and then she booted their ass.
Yeah, that's the kind of things I'm like. I trust my VIPs or my moderators to ban.
An attack on you.
Yes, but I would have attacked.
That they were so supposedly against that they were still for some odd reason watching you, trying to bring you down. So I said, "Okay, you're done. Goodbye."
Yeah, and I don't think they were okay. If they were personally attacking you and said, "Stealthy, you're an idiot, moron," they would have done that. That'd have been like a no shit. I would have banned them myself because then there'd been a personal attack. But if they felt like they were attacking you, I would have been okay with you going, "Hey, I feel like I'm being attacked here. Can we either move on or get the hell out of this stream?" Because you are pretty much my second right hand man because of my channel, because I trust your decision to. When you can either tell that I'm uncomfortable with the conversation, which you may not have realized it. Point taken. I may not have realized that you're feeling uncomfortable at the right time, at the right moment, until later in the chat. Like, shit, I need to move this conversation on. You would have banned them or timed them out. I'd be like, well, that conversation's over, and then you will see distinct and.
Shall I?
Yeah, it says you or shall I, and I would have been okay with it. I would have been completely okay with it. I would have been angry.
Do you want to do it or shall I?
I'm going to help you out with that. Except Grump. Let me get my tongue straight. Hang on a minute. All right. She will defend you to death in your channel. She will defend me in your channel. She will defend Loving One in your channel. She will defend all of your people in your channel. Stealthy doesn't defend herself. Remember conversations past
yes,
that we've had. She can't. Was never allowed to. So it's not going to happen, bro. And I hate to say it. I know it sounds like asking for some kind of special thing, but when it comes to her, you need to realize she's not going to defend herself. It's not going to happen because by defending herself, she thinks she's going to cause you a problem. And there's no amount of grumpy telling you I trust you that's going to ever change that shit. I've been married to her for going on 12 fucking years. It's not going to happen, bro. And I hate to say it, that's not your fault. It's not my fault, but it's something that as people that cherish her, we're going to have to deal with. That's why I'm saying if I had, and granted, I know most time I'm in the bed, I'm asleep or something when you're streaming because I have work. But if I had been in your chat and I had the ability to time that bitch out or ban him, I would have done it without thinking twice because I know she's not going to do it for herself.
Well, when you got in the chat and joined in, it was literally before that I started getting uncomfortable. But I didn't think like, let's ban this motherfucker. I was thinking, move the conversation on, move the conversation on, move the conversation on. My thought was
your thought for that is because you don't want to be mean or cruel to somebody,
especially if I don't really know them.
You don't want to be.
No.
Matter of fact, you would prefer not to have the confrontation to begin with. I love you, and I know that about you, which is why I'm telling you. If I swear to God, if Twilight had been in that damn channel or anybody else, that bitch would have got his ass ripped. Any of those groups that normally hang out with us, play Paladins with us, if any of them have had mod in your channel, that motherfucker, you'd have been like, where'd that guy go?
Yeah, Twilight wasn't a channel before that because, like I said, I watched the entire thing because I wanted to be able to rationally talk about this conversation. He wasn't a channel, and then he like dipped out. So it was anime wasn't there either, but seconds.
There's some people
Mm,
that they're not going to respond to the gentle nudge, bro.
mm,
And that guy, he wasn't responding to your gentle nudge. So what that means is somebody's got to put a hammer down. You either got to change the topic or I'm having to get your ass out of there, you know?
mm-hmm.
Like, and like, for instance, I don't remember if you're a mod or not in my channel. But if you are, and we're sitting there in something and you see that shit's starting to make somebody stealthy, loving one, Twilight, Range, any of those start feeling uncomfortable, y'all my peoples.
Mm-hmm.
If this is a first-time user, especially a first-time person or a second-time person, someone that ain't there that often, and they're making my peeps feel uncomfortable, by all means, click the fucking ban button because you ain't going to hear shit out of me. I'm just going to keep on playing going, oh, he must have fucked up somewhere. Look, well, guys, I killed that.
My rational thought is, if I was in your channel, and rather than making you look like the bad guy by you banning them, I'd rather look like the bad guy because it doesn't really like, hey, I'm pretty sure they don't want them here. I rather look like the bad guy. I got rid of them. And you can yell at me later on like, hey, I actually didn't want to ban them. Right. Sorry, we can unban them.
And I see your argument, and I'm not saying that it's wrong. Okay? I see your argument. I'm not saying it's wrong. But at the same time, like I said, this is stealthy. She's not going to do it for herself. And at that time, she was the only one there.
Yeah, she really was the only mod I had. Only mod.
I know that's asking an extra step for you. You know, I know that seems like special shit, you know, for one of your people, but she's not built to do it for herself. She can't.
Okay. Well, here's a question then for her. She can respond, or you can respond for her. What if a conversation comes up that's she is uncomfortable with that I don't know of?
Okay.
And or the conversation that she says in chat she wants to hear their opinions. You know, like, hey, you just gave them free reign to get their opinions. What am I supposed to do after that if she wanted to hear their thoughts or their opinions on something? Like, should I just go ahead and just ban them anyways, or just let them go on and say it? I'm worried about, like, sometimes I thought maybe she wanted to hear what they said so she can just prove it, or let's say anything, any topic.
No. If
If
you feel like this is my advice. If you feel like it's making her uncomfortable, it's better you ban it and boot her out, and y'all have a conversation with her saying, hey, I wanted to hear those viewpoints, and you going, look, I just felt like it was making you feel uncomfortable. That's a more civilized conversation than what you're going to get if you leave that fucker in there and it makes her feel like trash. Because at that point, she's hurt. She's not angry. She's hurt. And you know how hurt people are. Hurt people are a shitload harder to get back straight than an angry person. Because I get angry at you because I don't like the damn hat you wear. And in 30 minutes, we can be done with this shit, you know, and be back civil. But a hurt person, that's going to take a minute.
Yeah. So well, I watched it, like I said, I watched the entire thing. It literally went 3 minutes on that conversation. It was there and gone. But that 3 minutes felt like forever. Like, it felt like a month.
When I popped in, it was after having heard it for a while.
It was, I watched the time, it's 3 minutes long. Now, you don't have to believe me. I'm just saying it was 3 minutes long.
No, she's not saying that it's not 3 minutes long. Like you said, it seemed like it lasted forever. So what she's saying is, in that forever time frame, she didn't actually pop in to start saying anything until after that forever seemed like it had turned into forever. You know what I mean? That's what she's trying to tell you.
Yeah, okay.
She's not saying that you're wrong on how long it is. She's just saying, like you, that shit seemed like it was taken for fucking ever. And at some point after that forever mark is when she popped in to say something.
Mhm.
And that's when hell broke loose. And honestly, I wish I had just said something.
Yeah, like she could have literally came in on the 2-minute mark or the 1.5-minute mark, and it felt like it was the entire stream. But it was really
Right.
like it was already halfway over and already done, but the emotions were already routing in that
it was
quick of
already
time.
there. It was already fired up. Everybody already, you were already in that stagnant time frame. Every second felt like an hour, you know? What I should have done as someone watching your stream,
Even though you
and
were from
sitting
outside
here-
perspective.
sitting here next to her, knowing what was going on here,
Yeah.
is I should have put my hands on the keyboard and said, Grumpy, you need to change this shit. You need to change it now
Mhm.
because this is not good for Stealthy. It's what I should have done.
Like
But
maybe
I
in
didn't.
Discord, so I could have like
I didn't,
Mhm.
you know. I was again trying to do. Say that again, babe. Yes, she asked for backup,
Mm.
and I failed
Mm.
on that standpoint. I did. So it wasn't just you.
It definitely feels
You
like
know?
me though. Like this is, I would be honest, it does feel like I'm the one who failed because, like I said, I was after she sent me that message. I'm like, motherfucker, now I gotta try to explain myself, try to rationalize, try to figure out what I said and how how I was thinking at the moment. I gotta let her know and then see her point of view and see what how she's feeling and how to like motherfucker.
It's not. It's not just you.
Mm.
It was me too because she literally looked at me and said, "I need backup." But I stayed at that third person view instead of being like, all right, bet, and jumping on the keyboard. So I failed in that respect.
Mm.
So I'm telling you now, it wasn't just you. But I promise you, it won't happen again because I don't like it.
Maybe I should give you the moderator and let stuff to just be a VIP because maybe you'll actually be able to one defend when necessary. Because I feel like the way she's wording it, she doesn't feel comfortable moderating my channel, and I appreciate it, but I kind of want her to be able to be like the one person like, hey, you fuck with me and my people, you're out of here, bitch. Like that's I trust Stealthy to be that person.
She would do. The thing is, she would do that for you. She would do it for anybody in chat. She just ain't gonna do it for herself. So it's not that she's not a good moderator. It's that you need someone that's also gonna be there when it gets on her.
Mm.
So
well, it gets on her when someone knows of it, because like maybe they didn't. I'm just devil advocate here. Maybe the people in the chat did not know by her wording that she was being attacked, either directly or indirectly, which I think is more of indirect because they weren't specifically saying her name.
It shows what I'm saying, and they understood perfectly what I was saying. They just didn't.
Well, then,
that's part of the big thing right there because she spent most of her life being ignored. That's not something that sits well with her. Like I said, if I had actually done what she asked me to do, if I'd actually put my hands on the keyboard, I'd have told them straight out, guys, stop being an ass to the only woman in the fucking chat because like you're making her feel like trash right now, and that's not okay.
It was more like they were ignoring it.
Yeah, you can either change the topic or I'm going to make you change your location.
I said they feel that they were probably just ignoring her, or they were just too scared to say something to a woman in the chat. And like I said, I feel like they were probably just ignoring her in a lot of ways
which is exactly what made is exactly what caused the bulk of the problem because she spent so long being ignored that shit hurts her bad.
Which made my words, it's a blanket statement, right? Which made my words seem like they were being dismissive and ignoring because they were being dismissive, ignoring, and because they were my channel made me look like I was being dismissive and ignoring her rather than being direct when my statements were mostly be going, well, you had some bad things happen to your life, but you also had some great things happen. You had a great man and you didn't have anyone ever cheat on you, which is very fortunate.
Well, that last statement is not true. She has had someone cheat on her.
Well, then no one
But-
told me that before.
I know, but I'm telling you now that last statement was untrue.
Okay,
But
so
you not knowing that's one thing.
Mm.
But like I said, it was just it went in a 3-minute period. It went from bad to worse than a fucking heartbeat, and I was just like, I don't know what I mean.
well, after the conversation we got on money, it was smooth sailing. Like he said something every now and then. The that one viewer, but it was so rare and few between. Never really a topic
But
piece
the thing
either.
is, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
After we got on the topic of money, did Stealthy leave?
I didn't hear a word from her afterwards, and I knew that at that point I'm like, either A, she went to sleep, or B, she's upset.
So
she,
now
I know
I
she
want you to
goes.
draw a parallel on something.
Mhm.
They stopped making the statements when we got on what topic, and someone stopped speaking.
Well, they were speaking about that one topic before she was there, so
That's true. That's true. But it instantly stopped
mhm,
after
she disappeared.
we right.
Yeah.
So at the same time, you see how that looks to her?
Mm,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I'm just saying,
because I got those people off this conversation as fast as I could.
I honestly think that whole thing was for twofold.
Mm.
One, to cause dismay in your fucking chat,
Mm.
and two, they realized the woman had came in, so they amped it up a little bit. Because if you read your chat, it starts out kind of generic, and then it amped.
They brought it up the first time was something like, I live alone. I don't date women.
Right.
I am like,
And
I'm scared to. Then went from that to some like, not to say accusations, because I don't know if these actually happen or not, but they went from civil to extreme possibilities or parodies of something happening really bad.
Right about the time they did that is when Stealthy showed up, and then everything stopped when Stealthy left, and we got on the topic of money.
Mm.
So now how do you create so much dismay in someone's chat? All right, I'm going to drop a topic generically just to see what's out there. Oh wait, a woman just showed up. All right, now we're going to blow this shit up. We're going to fuck his stream up.
Mm.
And as soon as she leaves, oh, we're crickets now. We didn't do nothing.
But
Not
some
a
people
damn
like
thing.
people like the drama. Like I said, some people come to channels, and like I normally don't have 5 years doing this. I normally have if there is drama, it's very quick and very abrupt. It's almost gone within an instant because it's either banned or the conversation was switched over to something else. Because I'm normally pretty good with that. But he was crickets afterwards. He didn't very much say a very few of the things because I watched the entirety of things.
I mean that's where my premise of thinking that whole thing was this setup to
It was bait.
It was bait, and unfortunately, it fucking we got a damn king shark on the end of that fucking hook, and that motherfucker ran all the way to Panacea.
Well, he ran for 30 minutes. They got tired.
Yeah, I mean, chances are though, if you look at the chat and you look at what we were just talking about, that 3 minutes could have been a lot longer if somebody hadn't have actually left.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could have been on a money topic long enough to let everything die down and let's fire this shit right back up,
True. They could have.
So I can't say that would happen because it didn't happen.
Mm.
But
so what if scenario?
Time, it's a scenario, and what did happen supports the possibility of that scenario. Is all I'm saying.
Yes.
And I don't know, man. I hate that the shit happened. I hate that she got hurt. I hate that it happened in your chat. I hate it all the way around. I hate that I didn't get the fucking keyboard in my hand and do what I should have done.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucked up situation, and that's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I never predicated the whole conversation to be hurtful to anybody. So everybody ever watches it, which I don't think I'm gonna post up that thing because I don't want someone else to use it as ammunition or to use it as a way of bringing it back up. Because I think it's a one-time conversation that should have been done, one and done. It was there was my opinions. There's my thoughts. We're moving on. If you never heard it before, well, I'm not going to very much repeat myself because I don't like repeating myself. My wife dang well knows that. I hate repeating myself. So yeah, it was a one and done. It was it, and I don't think it's gonna happen again. I just have to be more mindful of conversation that would makes maybe my VPNs or my VIPs uncomfortable. Which is problem is it's such a wide skew. Like I don't know what might trigger anime. I don't know what might trigger housing. I don't know what might trigger maybe another conversation that I just don't know about Stealthy that she has a deep rooted feelings toward that someone else might bring up, and I gotta go and figure out every single person in the channels what triggers them. That's gonna be a little hard.
And you're not gonna know out the gate.
Mhm.
That's why I told you the moment you felt uncomfortable was when you should have acted.
Well, my
Okay.
action was my action were action, not words. They were
Right.
trying to switch shit without being like a veil. Like you don't
Right.
see it happening. I'm switching the conversation here, and I'm just not telling you, let's skip this, move on. Which is probably better words, but like
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be rude. Like I said, you can be as polite can be, and sometimes that you just be like, look, this is not working. You're making people feel uncomfortable in chat. Please change the topic.
But
At that point, you've not been rude, and you've made it known to everybody because everybody's watching that the topic's not kosher. Now, the only time you have to be rude is if you do that and that person doesn't dial it back. Because that's when you need to be like, all right, look, man, I asked you to dial it back. You didn't dial it back. So in your case, if you don't want to ban them because you don't want to be mean, time them out. Do something.
Yeah.
So that the rest of the chat sees that, hey, Grumpy's trying to take care of us all. Because one pissed off person versus everybody that's in your chat. Hands down, you
should take care of your chat, but if you're one person is a literally mod, someone you trust and befriend, it's gonna be running down for me. It's gonna be the moderator because they're the one that actually's been around for a hell of a long time, not just somebody that will maybe never show up ever again. Even if they show up 2 times, 3 times in your channel, doesn't mean they'll stick around and be a true viewer. Like somebody saying, "Oh, you can play any game; it doesn't matter." And people, the people will come up to your channel because of you. That I have can't stress that anymore. That's not happened to me yet, so I cannot say that's real.
Yeah.
It's like he might just only watch me during Paladins. He may only show up if you were to play Paladins. He may never show up in your channel because you don't play Paladins. But if you play Paladins, he might show up. So if you want bait, there's your bait.
I dare him to show up in Stealthy's channel while she's playing Paladins.
Yeah, she plays Paladins, so there's a good chance he might show up, or he's actually too scared of women, and he doesn't even want to show his name in a woman's chat because he's deathly afraid of them as if they are the scariest things on earth. Would that make him sexist?
If someone was so terrified of women like they were the scariest thing on earth, would that make them sexist? Or what would that make them?
Shouldn't be dating. They have a phobia at that point. Fuck them.
They're a woman phobic or something shit, some kind of phobia against women at that point.
He might have
That's
a
not
phobia.
sexist. That's not sexist. That's just like me and my phobia. No. Ain't happening.
Yeah, could you imagine if I had banned them?
Oh shit.
Please be quiet.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I didn't think about that.
What?
Duh.
If they have a legit phobia against a woman and a woman bans them, that could be bad. That's why. Oh, so
worsen the issue, or give him an excuse. Okay, I see that. That makes sense. If you would have given him an excuse.
That's why she wouldn't. That's another reason why she wouldn't do the banning. Okay. Damn it, Twilight. Why'd you have to leave? I'm not a mod.
I thought you were, but I could fix that easily. But like, I have plenty of people that's not a moderator. I thought you were, but you.
Doofus?
I'm a mod. I didn't remember being a mod. Damn it! I could have banned that fucker.
Like you should have a little crown next to your name, as far as I remember, but I could be wrong. But then again, I have a lot of people that's not in my channel anymore that don't need to be mods.
Next time I'm in there, I'll pay attention.
So, but yeah, like that would have gave him like more ammunition to be afraid of women, then give him more reasons to.
Damn, you're a selfless motherfucker, even when you're hurting.
Well, maybe I'm just to say here, maybe you should have been like, I'm not just to say a coulda, shoulda, woulda thing, but maybe you should have been like, let me give you me, not like actually give you me, but like, let me give you who I am and show you how good women can be. Like, let me show you how good women can be. You're such an asshole. I'm not even gonna ban you right now. You're so afraid of me. I'm not gonna get rid of your ass. I'm gonna let you be in the chat. I'm gonna talk to you. If you don't want to talk to me, I'm gonna talk to you directly to you. You ignoring me just shows that you don't have the balls to realize there's some good women out there. But don't worry, I have it right on my chest. So, you know, it would have been just.
That shit could have went different. It's all hindsight.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to tell you, bro. Your boy's got he's got iron sights, and they're looking for a target. And if that bitch shows up, I'm gonna unload a clip.
See that's rather okay. I know you would unload a clip on him in a more hurtful, direct way. If I could give you a suggestion, maybe you do it in a way that will make his ideology and his rationality seem unfair and unjust, and like there is kindness in the world. Like there is good ones out there. Let me give you an example and through a psychological mean. Instead of a point and click, you hurt my wife, fuck you.
Okay, I'll wrap my verbal ammunition in felt. That way it's softer when it penetrates his vest.
Yeah. So instead of like, hey, you hurt my wife, prepare to die. It's gonna be hey, you hurt my wife.
I'm gonna prepare to die, but with a softer impact.
It may take a little longer, so you have chances to run. But I don't want you.
Am I actually being nicer at that point, or am I just torturing the motherfucker?
It sounds like torture, really. Unless he's able to grin and bear it. Like if I said something mean to somebody's wife.
Listen, man, do not use that phrase. Grin and bear it. No. No.
Why? Grin and makes you mad?
No, I want you to think about this. If he can grin and bear it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Think about what you said.
Yeah.
Now, stand up, put your hands on your desk, and lean over. Grin and bear it.
Oh.
I got you to do it. I got this motherfucker to literally do it. Damn. He used the phrase grin and bear it. I said, no, don't use that phrase. He's confused as to why. I said, okay. Put your hands on your desk and lean over. And look at me. And I said, okay, grin and bear it. And he goes, oh, live on podcast, Grumpy Grin.
Yeah, somebody get that clip. But no, like there's so many rationalities of like the what if scenario. And I say this in the past to my family even. We can't live life on the what if. We're gonna live on what happened and learn from it and not hold sway on it. Don't let it sway your life by what could have happened. It's what it did happen, and then how you can better it.
All I got to say is that I'm sorry that he has such a thing against women and he's so scared of them, because I love women and I got a good one, and I plan to keep her, and if he's a dumbass, him. And then next time I see him, I'm gonna make him grin and bear it in chat.
Yeah, because I've said in the past, I'm not gonna give you a number of how many times I've been cheated on one person, but I've been cheated on multiple times with single people before. My wife literally made fun of me. Let me finish. Okay. Just because that's happened to me does not mean I've given up on women, or I wouldn't be married to one.
Fair statement.
I would have been out there being just as much of a cheater than they cheated on me. I would have been a complete whore, going around and doing everything I fucking could to get my jollies, but never give anybody a chance.
And that's a fair statement. And with that, I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry you went through all that bullshit. I personally didn't have that experience. I had a different type of experience. Might have been the tool of some cheating at some point, but I was not the one that was cheated on. And usually, if I was the tool, it was because some asshole threw this girl out somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and because she didn't agree to the music he was listening to, or some.
While I may regret the habit things, I'm glad it brings more things to light. Sometimes you have to have some things in your life bad to happen in order for you to be enlightened. Like to learn,
True.
and maybe it will even help you get over something that would normally cause you fear or anguish. Maybe it'll teach you how to be a little bit more receptive. It's like me, I normally don't like being blunt. I normally like going around.
Yeah. I can see you being more receptive. I mean, you put your hands on the desk very well.
You motherfucker.
I mean, hey, I know what. That's what we need to add, Grumpy, to your thing. I'll redeem my points, and I got a lot of them stored.
Tell that story.
Just right in the middle of your damn stream. I just pop out, grin and bear it, and you have to stand up and grin and bear it over your desk. Yeah, I like that one. That's good. And hey, we can even put an animation of a little Grumpy running up behind you. If
I had a green screen, I could do that. Or I have Grumpette, you know, like the Deadpool scene where it was the opposite day and she was like behind him and she heard just tighten the straps.
Okay. If you're going to do that, then I'm going to draw an item that I need you to attach to her avatar.
But no.
I promise I won't go over 12 inches.
Oh, one person in the chat, I don't know if it was yesterday, the other day, or that same stream was telling me, oh, so Grumpy like in front, the guy like the peg from the front and the back. I'm like, no, just in the video game. But yeah, there's to say, it definitely does. Like sometimes some bad things have to happen to you for you to learn that can become a good thing. We'll see. We'll have to see. And this is a really long one. So if anybody's made it this far, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. And maybe if you're one of the guys out there that don't like to be conversational, or don't know how to be, don't know how to, trust people, maybe you should look into a little bit more in yourself and figure out what you need to do to get over that. Because you need to. Let's go ahead and thank you one more time, or thanks to Dave one more time for the sponsors. Factor or HelloFresh, Factor _ You want to check them out? Links down below. Be sure to use my code. Go give support this channel. It'll be a big help. Or hit us at Dubby. And of course, Corvo Ninja will be live possibly tomorrow. We'll see.
It will be. It will definitely be tomorrow at 6. It's the Final Fantasy stream. I will be live.
I am gone way over my usual time that I normally do. I haven't ate yet, so I don't know if I'm going to stream after this. Honestly, I don't feel like it because this was a really long one, and I'm halfway out of breath because of my lungs. And normally I could talk for a long time, but today was a lot of flapping, so I am not feeling that. Then again, I don't know if I don't think he'd show up. I'm just saying, I don't know if he'd be there. And I don't want him to come in there and start some more routing up because he was here at the podcast. I doubt he's here at the podcast, even though I advertise this podcast in every stream I possibly can. But anyways, we'll be live next Wednesday. I will be live either probably tomorrow to make up for today, and then Friday and Saturday at 8 o'clock Central PST time. Corvo will be live around that time, so I'll probably wait for his stream to end. Don't worry, you don't need to end it at 8. You can end it at any time, and I'll probably pick up the stream afterwards or just before, so you have somebody to come over to. Something, I don't know when she's gonna go streaming again, whenever she feels like it, I hope she does. If you want to check her out, she's Stealthy Elf, or twitch.tv/Stealthy Jade, where she plays Paladins, she plays Destiny, she plays Final Fantasy, Zelda, you name it, she streams it all. Go check her out, go over support. And as always, have a good day, have a good night, have a good life. Much love, y'all.